good evening and welcome. My name is Rob, aka Lantern Noir, and we are here tonight with episode 3 of Valley of Plenty, which I have tentatively titled Going to the Chapel, which I'm not entirely sure that's what tonight's plan is going to be, but I grew up on 60s music because my mom played it in the car all the time. So whenever there's a church involved, I default back to Motown. I think it was Motown. I'm too old to remember this crap. So anyway, I am joined by 4 of my favorite players, and I'm going to let them make a round robin of... Oh, and I'm going to subject you to the same question we had Sunday night. This is the scenario as you're introducing your character. I would love to know how you and your character would handle this scenario. You have been handed a martini. The martini contains a... I will pause. Dave, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the support. I deeply appreciate all the support you give the channel. I can't say that enough. I will tell you that your stickers from the 14-hour streamathon on Friday are coming. They're not going to be in the mail because I have another means by which to get them to you, and I'm going to use that opportunity because I really, really want to thank you again for your ongoing support. It definitely keeps the lights on, and it keeps me fed. And as all 4 of these amazing people know, when the DM gets hungry, people die. So just, that's... Everyone nods except RJ, who just glares meaningfully at the camera. So... Thank you so much for doing that again. That's awesome. So Hugh, you've been handed a martini. The martini has a stainless steel... And by the way, Dave, I want to hear your answer to this too. Stainless steel toothpick in the olive. When you finish the drink, do you keep the toothpick for yourself? So do you, and would your character? I have some guesses, and we're going to let RJ... is everyone in the right boxes? Yes. I'll let RJ go first. So introduce yourself. Who are you playing tonight? And tell us the fate of that stainless steel martini toothpick.
Hey everybody, I'm RJ. Today I'll be playing Linton Rumblepot. We both go by he, him. He is a paladin, and I don't think we wouldn't take it. Me for sanitary reasons, him because you're taking someone else's property.
Fair enough. Tiffany, you're up. Tell us about yourself and who you're playing.
Hello, I'm Tiffany, and I'm playing Moira the Mad today. So keeping the toothpick, do you mean keeping it on her person or sharing the joy by stabbing somebody else with it? Because she's open to the options. But it's always good to keep your resources, so she'd totally take it. And if she noticed Linton didn't take his, she'd snatch his too. So, but that's...
Well, that covers that. We'll keep coming around the circle up to Pond.
Hey everyone, I'm Pond, also known as That Other Pond. For the toothpick question, I personally wouldn't take it because I get scared of being arrested over small things like toothpick theft. But also, Sierra would absolutely take it, and she would probably use it to her advantage in a battle and like flick it at someone's eye or something, or they're like maybe their teeth, to be more humorous about it. Yeah,
on brand. That's fair. I too share your fear of being arrested for the stupidest, littlest things.
Don't know why I do it.
I once had an officer behind me while I was driving, and I spent so much time worried if I was going to get pulled over for having my lights on, using my turn signals, having my music too loud. Like I double checked the radio 5 times, that I then went on to drive straight through a red light.
That's rough.
I did get pulled over, and according to the officer, it was not for a minor thing.
Oops.
As happens. Speaking of red lights, someone's character likes to whap people with a wooden spoon every time they start to cross a line. So Molly, you're up.
So I would not take the toothpick, and also I think that Winnie would use it to crochet a doily, leave it under the drink, and then put the toothpick inside and pass it to the bartender. absolutely she would not take it, but she would use it and then give it back.
Can you tell us more about our about Winnie then, real quick?
Oh yeah. Oh God, I'm Molly, barely Molly Bear. I play Winnie, who is a human furbolg druid who I got to pick my circle today because we leveled up. I am circled of the shepherd.
Everyone's surprised. Raise your hand.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That seems very on track. And I'm going to throw this into the chat. Did it work? He said, glancing, it does. So there's links to everybody's who's here. John Wick would take it. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, the quick backstory on this, there's a fight within my family between my mother and my aunt about the appropriateness of keeping a stainless steel toothpick. However, as we may have playfully talked it out, it's not so kindly discussed. So I'm trying to give my mom some data for the next family get together. I'm not exactly sure if Dungeons and Dragons players is a large enough, diverse enough demographic to put my aunt's mind to ease, but I'm trying here. So we're gonna get where we get. And welcome, Cheese. Glad to have you here as well. We've got a nice audience tonight, so it should be a fun evening of some D&D as we continue to explore this wonderful little cursed valley y'all ended up in. One of my favorite little environments. So as a quick recap of what has happened so far in the campaign, and to bring RJ up to speed, because they were not with us last week, the party was originally hired to guard a caravan of pilgrims. Caravan was beset by some kind of undead. The pilgrims scattered, the fog rolled in, and eventually they found themselves lost in the mists. When they emerged from the mists, they came out into a valley surrounded by mountains. The sun no longer shined. It was covered in clouds. In fact, as a point of order, even though we start on a morning after a long rest, you still have yet to see the sun. They worked their way in towards town, stopped at a farmhouse, helped themselves to some fresh food, only to realize the cupboard magically replenished itself. A short zombie attack later, they headed into town proper. They met up with some of the remaining residents. The town has been besieged for some time by zombies. But all food stocks seem to also suffer from the same blessing of plenty. Beer kegs never run dry, whiskey bottles never empty, and bread is always available with that slightly warm, still soft in the middle freshness. The party had some time to kind of reconnoiter. They leveled to level 2, which means they're no longer nearly as squishy, so I have to work a little harder to kill them. And kind of left off with that. The only other tidbits were that there is a ruined manor house nearby, the Alderman Council House, which is the most fortified space in town, the Smithy, second most fortified, where they're still using to maintain the weapons for the local militia, and the church, which is off limits to the residents of the community, which at some point I had named. I have to see where in my notes I put down the name, because that's the downside to this. You write it down once and then you can remember where you left it. Did I miss anything in the recap?
I was just I might have not gotten all my links up. Do you have the Jamboard? Oh yeah, you did. Okay, I'll open that. I was gonna say, do you still have the map of you did a city map? Did you do
a city map? Let's make sure we use that term loosely.
Okay, or a town map.
Yeah, I did
guess.
an NPC sketch of town. So yeah, the ruins were here. Let me zoom just slightly. Hermit, welcome aboard. Did Crimson tell you that you have stickers coming? Because they want you to have the stickers they were going to get from Friday. And so I have to do that. Yep. So there's the ruins out here. The smithy is about here-ish. The Alderman's council house is in smack dab of the city, and it does have an established perimeter. The church is on the far side of town over there, just up the hill slightly. You are located at the tavern here, and then the farm that you came in on was down over there.
Okay. And then the last thing I wrote was that we decided in the morning to fortify the smithy with Natalia. So I guess that's what we're gonna do. I don't know, unless we decided to do something else.
Well, you have the option to still do that.
I think that's still a good plan.
I agree. And now that I'm thinking about it, I also don't trust the church lady, whatever her name was.
I have that down.
She's very
I'm
suspicious.
scrolling through my notes. Lots and lots of notes, lots and lots of notes. Okay. It's time to break out the find feature. There it is. Yes, the Just Sister Leanna. You're not on board with. So, okay, so yeah, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Yeah, it's like it was that easy. If you're in agreement, then you can set out for the smithy at first light with Natalia. The town is, I won't say it's deserted as much as it lets off the appearance. The other thing that strikes you the most is how little side activity you see. There's no cats sitting on windowsills. You don't hear barking dogs. There's no rats that scurry between the townhouses as you work your way along the cobblestones. You barely hear the sound of any kind of birds or even insects. It's just the sounds of boots on cobblestone. There are signs of life. Periodically, you'll pass a house where you can see movement through the boarded windows. The doors stick out from others in that they're more fortified as people are barricading themselves in. The smithy sits in the center of a market. So again, just by virtue of very rough sketch, you've got your various roads that lead in. It's a relatively circular courtyard, and the smithy sits smack dab in the middle. There are various market stalls abandoned all around. The curious thing is, while they are keeperless, they are fully stocked. So there's a cart with full boxes of apples and pears. There's another with that's stacked with chopped ice on which several fresh fish are displayed. There's one that has a collection of baked goods. And the first real smells you sense as you enter the courtyard are the smells of the fresh baked pies. Possibly still warm out of the oven with that hint of cinnamon on them. And before anybody from Sunday says anything, no, they are not dream pies. I know what you're going. And it is. I updated it. I will do that while I'm doing. Thank you for that. The smithy stands at the center. It's a single, cobblestone building with a wooden roof and a single chimney in the center that goes straight up. And as you approach, you can see the different forges coming off that center chimney that everyone has access to. And it's early enough, people haven't started working yet, but there is movement around in the courtyard as they're setting up some more barricades. They're repairing. Oh darn it! It didn't save. Save configuration. See if that works. There's probably about a dozen people milling around. And in a short period, you will, the next sounds that will start to fill the silence is the sound of hammer on anvil as they begin to do the work of either forging new blades or repairing those that they currently have. Tell me what y'all are up to.
Linton's gonna look around and he might inspect the fish, actually. Like looking right at the eyes, seeing how dull they are.
The dungeon master is not a fishmonger himself, so he's going to say they look like they were caught probably this morning. Whatever the eyes should look like for that, that's what you see.
Not cloudy, got it.
My big question is, has Linton eaten any of the food? I know Winnie
Think so.
hasn't. Did you eat any, Linton?
I think the last time we were at the pantry, I was here, someone ate from the pantry, but Linton, like, popped a gold on the table. He's probably eaten from his haversack this entire time, just
Okay,
travel
yeah.
rations.
Because we as a group did discover that it's like, if you haven't eaten the food, these zombies don't actively attack you. So that's why I was curious if you'd eaten it or not.
Huh.
Which at this point, the closer Linton leans in to look at the fish, Winnie probably reminds Linton of the fact that he forgot while he was sleeping last week.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was present, he just was very inactive. Remember, you haven't eaten any yet. It might not be wise to start.
Moira's gonna stab a pie. Because you just don't know. And then I don't know, she might stab a fish as well. Mostly she's just gonna stab the pie to see if it does anything. Because she really wants the pie.
The pie does
mimic.
not.
And she knows when he's gonna hurt her.
While Moira is stabbing the pie and hopefully making a little bit of a nuisance there, Sarah's gonna try and eat a little bit of a different pie. Like, zombies are already after me. It's fine. It's good.
I just want to shove it in and go, taking one for the team.
Yeah. I'm the bait. I'm okay with being the bait.
Lynn doesn't notice. I rolled a 3. Just
Oh, I'm really not sneaky.
It doesn't matter. No, he probably noticed. She's not very sneaky either.
Yeah.
It checks out. It checks out. The pie does not attack you.
All right. Good.
But it definitely has that, like, as you stab in, the crust across the top in those really neat woven rows has just the right crinkle to it. That kind where you can tell it's flaky, but not soft.
Look at Winnie.
I mean, you've already they said that it doesn't matter if after you eat it once, you're done. We gotta solve this, so you might as well eat.
Grab a pie.
Pie crust speckled across my face.
Yep. Oh man,
It's so
pie eating
good, guys.
contest.
Oh, like, you have no idea. It's worth the zombies. It totally is.
For now, anyways.
I can't leave any of you alone, huh?
No, Linton. No, we really can't.
I'm just gonna take a different pie and hand it over to Sierra. That's a little tart.
Happily taking it, just hand scooping right into it.
Why are you like this?
It smells so good. We're taking this one for you guys. We are sparing you and Winnie because we care.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mhm.
care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've got a job to do.
Yeah. Is
I'm gonna grab
Natalia came with us, right? So
She
she's
did.
walking with. Okay, Natalia, who do we talk to about reinforcing the smithy or whatever it is we're supposed to be doing here?
That's a good question. She leads you. She can lead you over to the forge. And as you go, she comments that for the most part, everyone just does what needs doing. You can see we have barricades across the various street fronts. We've attempted to create some baffles for the undead to have to weave between or climb over. I feel like maybe overnight they've done more work than I had expected. As she glances around and checks out the space.
Well, good. Do you want to talk to whoever's in charge or on shift right now and just see if they need anything before we? Because I think we came here because you said it was in dire need, but if they're all right, we probably need to figure out where this is coming from next. So
They thought it was gonna fall.
yeah.
They thought it was.
She waves over to a gentleman who comes over from the forge. He has his apron, and he's been hammering out a fresh blade. It's working on like an axe head type shape. Natalia, who are the new ones? She introduces you to him. Name's Walter. I think we'll be good for a bit. Although I appreciate you checking in on us. You equipped enough?
I mean, do you have anything that would help us?
No, nothing arcane or magical.
Hmm.
Which part of town are you in? I don't think I recognize your face, and this town's not that big.
We're not from town. We
Oh.
came from a road that turned into a mountain, and then a bird brought us here.
You done killed that bird, didn't you?
No. Goodness,
Ugh.
no.
You shoulda.
Why would I kill a bird?
Because he brought you into hell, it did.
Oh, birds
I
are
think
birds.
we might have already been there. It just localized it.
It's
Also-
not that bad here. I mean, I say with pie in my hand. Like zombies are an issue, but we got this.
Also, do you happen to have another simple or light weapon?
Well, here, let me check my player's handbook and to see exactly what it is you might be thinking about. Does it need to have the finesse quality?
I think it was the problem. I think the finesse didn't work because
No,
I
it's
have
light.
to say finesse, but it's like light and martial or light and simple. keep
Yeah,
forgetting.
the light is what lets you use two of them. Finesse
Right.
lets you, I think, replace dexterity. Is the
Ah.
weapon pie shaped? Don't ask.
It is now, in a way.
Yeah, there's, I mean, if it's a common weapon you're looking for, they can find one or they can make one.
I'll take one they can find. That's fine. I mean,
So-
I don't want them to waste the time on making one when they need to make other stuff.
Standards are usually daggers or short swords.
I've got a dagger. I'd like something a little longer.
They hook you up with a short sword. So it's a
Yeah, short sword would be longer for me, anyways.
It's a really long dagger, basically.
Yeah.
But totally could hook you up with that.
Cool.
And then you can add it to your equipment list and go in and update your combat stuff.
Woohoo! 'Cause
And
this
then-
is all about me remembering how to update my sheet today.
Oh dear God! Everyone brace. We might lose Tiff here.
No. It'll work. I'll just be grumbling to myself for a moment, but I'll mute. I promise.
The update a roll of D6 in combat that we better than a D4. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although on average, a D6 averages at 3.5 damage per turn, and the dagger is at 2.5. So I don't know. It is a point more, but it's style. Twin
More is all about the killy style.
twin daggers looks cool.
It does. But to be fair, he's not wrong that the short sword is just a little bit longer of a dagger, and they both look like swords on me. So
Fair enough. Yeah, Walter gets Walter is hooking up Moira with a weapon. Is anyone going to do any investigating or inquiring?
I'm investigating the spy. As I believe is Sierra.
I think it might be worthwhile asking the guy or whoever is available about the church lady that everyone hates so much.
Yeah, Walter can comment on that while he gets Moira fit with a scabbard and such. That old witch.
It doesn't seem like she's being super helpful in this time of need. Not very charitable or in the, not really what you would think a churchgoer would do.
She sounds like a real jerk.
I'm not gonna argue that. At least she's not the just sister has always been a bit above the rest of us ever since she took her orders and took over the church. And she was a good girl growing up. I knew her when she was knee high to a cornrow. She was, and nice enough, polite enough, kind enough, helpful enough. And then she took her orders and started put it on airs around town. Before you know it, the previous rector passes on. She inherits the church, and then she starts locking the gate up. I wouldn't be wasting your time on that old hag.
Would you notice any change in her behavior around the time that the magic food started appearing?
He glances off a bit and thinks on that. I don't know if it was that much of a thing. As I said, she's always been a bit on her own. And I'm not going to lie, when the Walking Dead graced our streets, the chains went around that fence as fast as you could blink. Quite a shame, too. And he kind of pulls a little harder than he has to on the buckle over Moira's shoulder. You ask me, that church is the only place them beasties can't get to.
So the zombies don't attack the church?
Nope.
Do they try to at all?
For the most part, they seem to be ignoring it.
Probably because the ground is consecrated.
Or she's involved. Do you know if she's eaten the food?
Nah, I don't know much about what she does with her day-to-day.
And she didn't bring any townsfolk in with her. She doesn't have, like, some followers or devotees that were brought in. It's just her and that big old church.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't seem right, you'd be asking me.
Really doesn't.
Good number of us townfolk been tithing up there for generations on generations. You look up at those windows, my father's one laid the lead for the stained glass.
Does she ever come out for supplies of any type?
Nope. Not that I've seen.
Do you know if she's even still alive?
Oh, yeah, you see her about time to time poking around the yard, cleaning up around the gravestones or trimming the trees. Sometimes she even gets some fresh fruit off them when they're in season.
So she's acting like everything's normal. Except for not leaving the churchy thing.
It says, as normal as one can be living in a churchyard by yourself while the town you profess to look after and protect is beset by legions of the undead.
I think we should pay her a visit.
Yeah, has anyone hopped the fence, so to speak, and tried to talk to her?
12 foot with iron spikes along the top? We've got bigger problems to deal with.
I can try.
I'll throw you.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Why?
Now with my pie. Here, I'm gonna hand her my pie.
Just eating more. It's amazing. It's very impressive how much she can eat.
At this point, I've given up wrangling them.
Aw, Linton, it's okay.
Truly, I have been a shepherd my whole life, and nothing has been harder than herding this crew.
It's not like we're cats or something. You're all right. You guys are
Cats
doing
would
great.
be preferable. Cats would be easier to herd than this.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go bust in on this sister.
I believe
It's
so.
our next lead.
Yeah, you guys are good. You don't need assistance.
No, we're set up here. I mean, we've got some stuff. If you want to do work within the town, it wouldn't hurt for someone to run supplies up to the Alderman House. It's looking a little. Well, they always need more weapons. The zombies, if they get past any other checkpoint, they always head straight there.
I think we pass them on our way to the.
Yeah, we could go
church,
just
don't
like
we?
down and over. It seems like it
That'd
could
be
technically be on our way.
fair enough. It's kind of. I'm gonna have to talk to your geometry teachers, but
It's not on our way, is it? I'm not looking.
I mean, it's down and over. It adds a little time, but come
We've
on.
been eating
Just
a
a
lot
couple
of
minutes.
pie.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Given that when I have students nowadays who say things like, "I don't believe in that fact," I'm supposed to go, "Oh, I'm sorry. There are many opinions about that fact." I'm waiting for the one to come in and say, "My dad doesn't believe in the Pythagorean theorem, so I don't have to do it."
Mm.
Conspiracy of mathematicians? What?
Something like that. Something like that. But I got to stop that thought process, because if I start thinking about that, I will be here all night on the history of mathematics lecture, which is incredibly fascinating. None of you will leave. We won't get any D&D played.
It's okay. You just have to roll it into one of the zombies doing that, and they're just following people
Nope.
around talking about the Pythagorean theorem.
Nope.
Roll it
Nope.
into the game.
Nope.
And then we hit him in the face with a pie. It's all good. That works.
Hypatia of Alexandria. Sometime look her up. She was freaking amazing.
Sure.
Just saying. Okay, so you're going to head to the Alderman's house and then to the church. That's the plan?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
As it is midday, not even yet, things still are relatively quiet. They fit up a hand cart. They stock it with breastplates, a couple of shirts of chainmail, and stacks of spears, and let you head out. You continue following the path. Natalia kind of looks and says, "Can you find it on your own, or do you need me to?" Or asks if you need her to guide you.
I think we'll be fine.
Your skills might be better off back.
At the
Yeah.
inn.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. She, as you leave, you watch over your shoulder, and you can see she's clambering up onto the roof of the forge and setting up a nest up on top of it. And people are
Seems
handing up.
dangerous.
Hmm?
That seems dangerous,
It's a good vantage
but
point.
cool.
Yeah, it's a good vantage point. She can see the entire marketplace, and as long as she's got a couple of quivers up there, she's good to go.
Not wrong.
You make your way south into town, and it's not too hard to pick out the Alderman House. Whereas most of the structures are plaster and wood with some like cobblestone, maybe a half to a third up of the way up the main floor, and then plaster and wood up the rest. The Alderman House looks like it's almost a Greek Renaissance style. Tall columns denote the front porch. Tall metal framed windows along the walls. The grounds around it look like a fairly well maintained garden relative to the condition of the rest of town. Now, the iron fence, you can see where it's been broken in places and patched back up with lengths of chain, or just in some cases anything they could wrap around to hold it in place. And the gates into the grounds are filled up with wagons, wheelbarrows, and anything else they could stack to create a baffle for incoming monsters. The two men who are standing guard at one of the checkpoints waves you forward, and it seems quite excited that you're here. One of them offers to take the cart the rest of the way into the grounds on your behalf.
How are you guys doing over here?
No, we're holding up all right. Hasn't had an attack yet this morning.
How often do you guys get attacked?
Oh, toward only so regular. Sometimes it's a couple hours between waves. Sometimes it's a couple days. It's like they scatter themselves out enough so that you never really get rest because you're never sure.
Do you
Can
need
I?
more supplies? Oh, sorry.
No. I was just gonna say while they're talking, can I do an insight check if they're like, they are gonna take the supplies to the right place, or are these like other people?
That's fair. Roll the insight. I will never turn down a PC who wants to roll insight. Especially-
Dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Yeah, legit. There's there are guards, and like a small contingent of people that have agreed to guard this area, and they are definitely accepting the weapons, and will be, they're on the level. These are the wagon is being brought into the center of this yacht lawn, at the edge of this building.
Okay. Sorry, go.
No.
I meant to do that like while you guys are conversing.
Yeah. Back to the
so-
conversation.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes you think you can get a lick of sleep, and the second your eyes close, someone's screaming and hitting a bell.
The bell?
And he points up at the front of the house, and there's this big facade at the front with a large brass bell hanging.
Oh.
Used to use it to summon people for an alderman meeting. Now we use it to warn if there's an attack on the house.
Is there a specific spot they tend to come from, or do they just swarm overnight?
We're close enough to the center of town. They just come from every direction. Usually the one you're not. We think they're coming from this side, and a good number of us rush to fortify and hold the line. And next thing you know, we hear tell of them hammering on the rear door of the house itself.
Do you remember anything happening unusual before they started attacking?
They glance at each other. Not really. It just happened.
When did the food become magical?
It's supposed about the same time.
Which one do you think happened first?
Couldn't tell you.
Any idea why the food became magical?
That's not something we really think much about.
How long has the sun been like this?
Oh,
Or not like this?
the ever twilight?
Yeah.
That's generations you're talking there, friend.
But the food and the zombies haven't been that long.
No.
They've just been, like, what is it, 7 days, Natalia thought?
6 months, 4 and 4 days of
Boy,
zombies.
I wasn't even close.
6 months, 5 days. She told you that
now
last
it's
night.
now it's 5 days. Yes.
Let's see. Who's our wisdom character?
I have a +1.
That's
Somebody's
not-
got to be higher than
that's
that.
I
not
have
you.
a +3 to wisdom.
There we go.
I
So-
think that's our wisdom.
Oh, I have a +5 to saving throws if we're doing that.
It is not a save,
Okay.
but I would love to have Winnie throw me another insight check.
Oh, insight.
Yeah, we'll go insight on this one.
Got it. Oh, 19 plus 3, 22.
Okay, so they're not telling you the full truth about the timeline. But you also get a sense they probably won't tell you more unless you implement some kind of extreme interrogation.
And what did he say the timeline was? Can you just real quick again?
That the food and the zombies show up at the same time, and they're not really sure why.
So I think he's not being truthful about the timeline, or
About not
think
knowing why.
Oh.
However, with a 22, I'll also freely hand you the time saver of just asking them politely isn't going to get you any more from these two fellows.
Right.
Now, Sierra looks ready to jump in there with a stainless steel toothpick and see what information she can pry from between their teeth. But
I mean, I think I'm just gonna cock an eyebrow at the party and just, okay, sir. Well,
Sierra would definitely like to pick up on that. Winnie doesn't make faces for any reason, I'm assuming.
yeah, it's pretty standard grandma smile, so this is like the same face that I've used when I've seen someone not use a coaster that's an inch away from the glass, just like that.
Oh, so I've seen that face before. Okay,
Yeah,
so,
you've seen this face.
great.
But it is like deep upset.
Sierra just is playing with her bow a little bit, like an arrow, a little pointedly.
You know what? I think we would actually like to escort these weapons to you. You never know when an attack could happen. We'll help escort these to the Alderman House for you. I insist.
looks over his shoulder.
We insist.
Yeah, I think we're at the Alderman House.
It's 50 feet
It's
that way.
It's only polite, dear. We're already here. We got it. We'll help you out.
He puts his hand up, and the other guy kind of sets down the hand cart and turns around. So you can take it the last 100 or so feet if you really want to.
I'm so glad you guys are showing such hospitality.
Yeah, Linda, let's go check the fortifications at the back of the house.
Okay.
Make sure they're okay while these two help them get the weapons where they need to go.
As Linton walks by, I kind of smack them on the back, like in a friendly way, like, yeah, hospitality.
I'm so
That's
proud.
what they call it these days.
Yeah.
Hospitality, not threatening.
Listen, I've got 2 good stats. Leave me alone.
Linton, you are so much better than the rest of us.
You're a good
Such a good
person.
soul.
Just could use short up.
Good person. All right, so you drag the cart to the center of the, up to the front, basically steps of the house. It stands 3 stories high, and the columns go all the way to the top. And there's a heavy marble facade that sits atop them with that massive bell in the center of it.
And there's like a lot more people here, right? This was like
Yes.
the majority of people were here. So we're like in the gate at the house.
Here they've
Okay.
pulled away the barricade so you get the cart in. Almost as soon as you get within 10 or 15 feet of the front porch itself, as you come up the walk or the drive, as it were, if they were bringing a carriage, perhaps. People are coming out to start to collect weapons and distribute them, check them for, basically, check their weight, see if they feel comfortable or not. There's a father-son pair that are going back and forth with a long sword and a short sword, where they each take it, they take a few practice swings, hand it to the other, take a few practice swings, try to decide which one it's going to sit better with. They both have that look of their clothes are starting to look a little threadbare, and they've got like an air of fatigue, but they also have a purpose right now. So there's a lot of movement.
Okay. I guess I don't know, like, talking to the rest of the party, I guess. I don't really know how to go about is there a way that we can, like, talk a little bit privately or something, like,
No,
away
yeah,
from... okay.
Once you put down the wagon, if you want to walk off under a tree somewhere, no one's going to bother you. They've got way bigger things going on.
Oh,
Okay.
should I not take Lyndon away? I'm sorry. I thought Sierra was going to threaten somebody, so I was taking him out of the way.
I got the impression that they know why this is happening. They're not being super truthful about not knowing why it's happening. And I figured maybe we could ask some of the people here, and maybe someone will, I don't want to beat any of these people up. They're already pretty beaten up, but maybe someone would see that we're trying to do good and we're trying to help, and they would be willing to help us out.
But why would people lie about their plight?
Because they caused it.
And I also don't think they trust us. We're outsiders who come in here and calling all the shots. These young people running in, calling all the shots. I know how it is, so.
I think we definitely need to get that information to help anyone, though. So
Yeah, that's why I mean maybe we could ask some of the people here who are a little bit more. I'm sure somebody will see that we're willing to help.
We can try.
And secrets don't stay secrets under stress and with this few people, so.
I swear it feels like every time we go to a building, there's more people than I expected. This is a much more populated town than I thought it was.
I figured
no rats.
very clean.
Oh, are there rats? Is there anything?
Well,
Any creature. Come on, I got beast speech. Give me something.
So about that, remember when you eat the food, you get targeted by zombies?
Mm-hmm.
So if you eat the rats, maybe you don't?
What if the rats ate the food and got targeted by the zombies?
Oh.
Does that mean there should be zombie rats coming too? I'm not so down with that.
Okay. Well, how do you guys want to do this? Do you want to, should we split up and ask people, or should we target one individual? I don't know.
Why don't Linda and I continue the other side, and we'll try and investigate over there, and you and Sierra investigate over here, and we'll meet on the other side of the house.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to look up zombie rat hordes.
I think you might find a stab block for cranium rats.
I'm sure
I
they
think this is the part where we stop helping.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you should have. Because I hadn't even thought about that till about 4 seconds ago. And now I'm like, oh yeah, this is in the next combat encounter.
Oh yeah, I've been looking up wild shape creatures, and cranium rats is one. It's in the Volo's Guide to Monsters.
Cranium rat.
Terrifying. A cranium
Oh,
rat is
good.
terrifying. It has a telepathic shroud.
Yeah,
Terrifying.
they're rats modified by mind flayers.
Hate it. Love to hate it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go this way because weirdly the zombies now seem like the least of our possible worries.
How the hell did I let that happen?
Although there's I'm gonna go that way and investigate.
Okay, so
Lynn follows Moira.
Moira and Linton wander off one direction. Sierra and Winnie head the other direction. Help me out with what you're looking for.
Sierra is specifically looking for someone that seems like they could crack under any amount of pressure whatsoever.
I was gonna talk to the father and son, but I think I'm more concerned now with keep making sure Sierra doesn't beat somebody up.
No,
so-
I'm not saying I'd beat them up. I just say, emotional pressure is real too.
Yes. Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do good cop, bad cop. Okay, we can talk to the father and son if you want. I'm okay with that.
Okay, just don't.
I won't bully a child.
Okay, we'll good cop the son and we'll bad cop the dad.
Okay, this seems
Got it.
good. I
Got
will
it.
give
This is
her a
gonna
little
be
high five.
disastrous. This is truly awful.
You do realize that's not how the good cop, bad cop
Yeah, I
work.
know.
Okay.
That's what Winnie thinks it means.
Rob's just double checking there.
Mhm.
Rob's,
Sierra knows what it means, and she's still gonna play it traditionally. but-
Rob's been watching a lot of Criminal Minds lately, just making sure we're on the same page. And yeah, okay, yeah. So if you're gonna go for the father-son pair, they're not hard to spot. They've got their weapons stocked. They've just picked up a spear each, and they're taking some time to practice together stances in preparation. They see you approach. The boy looks more interested in the interesting thing, which is the earth genasi, that constant dust sort of billowing off around Sarah as she walks up.
Hello, dears. We were wondering. Oh, by the way, perfect form, my boy. Perfect form.
Perfect. Okay, and he nods back at you and kind of in a bit of a cracked voice. Thank you.
See, we're new in town, and we're trying to help investigate about all this business going on with the food and the zombies, and you know, we've stumbled across this, and now we can't leave till we figure it out. So, we were wondering if there's anything you could tell us about. This happened 6 months ago. Would you happen to know maybe how or why or anything to help the town and ourselves?
Sierra is just standing behind Winnie, arms crossed, looking very tall.
I would love a persuasion check. Let's get a baseline here.
All right, it's not a negative, at least.
Is there any? Can I offer any sort of assistance?
Oh yeah, can I get help?
Not yet. Let's see. Help just gives you advantage. Let's just see how you do. What did you do?
Oh, that's a 3.
That's a 3. That's a very low number. Okay.
Is it worth a reroll? Party. We have a lot.
You do.
Thanks to Dave.
Go for it. It's early. Let's do it.
All right. The one
Okay,
reroll gets
one reroll,
spent.
and if the dice will decide on this. Oh my god!
Dope. You went up.
But yeah, 4, solid 4.
You went the right direction. Just not at a needed rate. So that happens. That happens. By the way, for anyone that's new to the stream, the Book of Fate down there keeps track of your cheers, and every 100 cheers can be spent one time per roll for a reroll. You can also use channel points, I think, once every half hour to call for a reroll as well. Just so you know. So yeah, when he makes her pitch, and they like kind of look, and the boy takes a step back, and the father goes, "We don't talk about those things with people we don't know. I'm very sorry that you've come under these circumstances, but there are certain things we don't discuss with outsiders."
I mean, truly, we're no longer outsiders if we're in the same situation as you. We can't leave.
Well, and that's truly unfortunate. But
You really don't want us to stay.
I don't follow.
And Sierra just kind of like rolls her shoulders back. It like kind of like cracks her neck a little bit and says, "Well, if we're stuck here, we're gonna get pretty frustrated, especially if we don't know any information. You know, like it's not very nice for your guests who are trying to help, I'd say. So, you know, if you're not willing to help us, we're not really going to be willing to help you either."
Roll me an intimidation.
Can I give advantage? Can a grandma be as intimidating as they can be?
Not in her.
Natural one.
This is
We are
the
not
worst
doing well
rolling
with this.
I've ever seen in my life. I vote a reroll. I vote one more reroll.
That sounds fair.
That seems reasonable.
All right. 9.
It's the highest
It's not a 1.
we've
It's not.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That leaves a mark. Yeah. So, he kind of narrows his eyes, and he's been like half standing in his stance, and he actually kind of moves almost to where he's not threatening you, But if you were to attack him, you would not get a surprise round. If that kind of sets the bar for where we're at. He's not threatening. He's ready for that. And he kind of just, if you don't want to help keep yourself alive when the zombies come, that's up to you. We're all fighting for our lives here. Day, night, hour by hour. Father, son, mother, daughter. We all train, we all fight, we try to stay alive. You decide if you want to assist or not. But it sounds like I won't, nor will my daughter be mourning you if you fall.
I guess what I am confused about is, don't you want this to end? Don't you want to live a normal life and not just be waiting for you and your wife and daughter to fall? We're trying to end all of this for everyone so everyone can be free. I don't understand why you would not choose the help when it's offered.
Oh, we'll take the help, but we're not doing it at the end of a blade.
No, but you're not offering any assistance for us in information, which is so key into, I mean, if you would like to send us off into the dark, you're ruining your own chances of freedom.
That's persuasive. Is it more persuasive than the last thing you said to him?
Do I have to roll? Okay, I'm not gonna look. I'm not looking.
You're not going to look? You'll just wait for us all to react?
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay, it's a 10.
It's a 10.
That's middle of the road. That is middle
We're
of the
getting there
road.
slowly.
that is
Yes.
decidedly average. Okay.
Maybe I should not look at all my rolls from now on. They
I'm-
get better.
If they get... Not sure that's the benchmark you want to be using. Yeah, so he nods a few times. Well, what is it you think you need to know then?
From the information that we've gleaned just from conversations over at the Smithy and the tavern, it seems like the High Rectress locked herself away as soon as these zombies started coming and isn't being attacked and is also not offering help. We are very suspicious of this. I have been able to glean from the food that there is necromantic and conjuration magic being applied to this food, which is why I think that zombies are able to track people through the food. I've not eaten it. Our other party member, Linton, has not eaten it, and we have not. The zombies run right past us. So what we're trying to figure out is this is obviously the work of some type of magic or artifact or something affecting this town and these people. Possibly a curse, we don't know. But we won't be able to determine that unless we have all the knowledge of when the events happened, in what order, and if anyone was acting strangely, like your High Rectress.
He nods a few times. That sounds like you've got quite a bit figured out. I can't think of much. What kind of magic did you say?
Necromantic and conjuration magic is being applied to all the food in this town that keeps reappearing.
Oh, I see. And you said you and your party are recently arrived.
Yes.
He turns down to the kid. Lizel, go report this up to the alderman. And the kid runs off, spear in hand. One of you actually, Winnie will cringe slightly at the child running with a spear, thinking
Running like this with a spear.
the kid's gonna trip and impale somebody.
Oh dear. Oh. Okay, well.
Meanwhile, behind the ranch, what are Linton and Moira Gain up to?
Okay, but What do you think we should look for? All right. I'm gonna look for somebody that's kind of on their own and looks, I guess, more scared or tired than the others. Maybe they'll be less mentally able to resist our persuasion. I don't know. What do you think?
I thought you had the plan.
Yeah, I totally got the plan. I just wanted to get your opinion on it. Yeah, of
Well,
course.
yeah, let's ask around town and see if anyone will tell us anything.
Okay, sounds good. Let's start with that one over there.
And who do you point at?
I point at somebody who's younger and maybe is on their own. They look done in. They look like if we ask them some questions, they're not going to mentally be able to resist us.
Okay. You spot a young man with kind of shaggy, chopped hair. And you approach, and they're sitting. They've got a quiver of arrows next to them, and they're taking each one out in turn and running the blade against a whetstone. And every so often, they pause to spit on the stone, rub it in a few times, and grab another arrow and run it across it. And as you approach, you notice that they're working through like the same 5 arrows over and over again.
You know, if you do that too much, you're going to lose too much of the tip.
And they kind of jump and look up at you. And their eyes take up it seems like their eyes take up half their face when you speak, and they give kind of a shudder. And that's when you realize it's actually a young woman who's just incredibly thin. It's practically a waif of a person. And
have you eaten much lately?
I don't keep it down well.
Have you eaten any of the food?
Eventually.
Could I make a medicine check on her?
Sure. Are you looking for something? Or are you attempting to cure something?
I'm looking for possible reasons why she's malnourished besides, like, not eating. She says she can't keep the food down well, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you may, I know a little bit of medicine.
She kind of looks at you strangely as you offer to help, and then there's that, the with one perk of being a halfling, everyone thinks you look trustworthy. Because, you're a halfling. What could go wrong?
I got a 15 for a medicine check.
And 50 on the medicine check. And for everyone that hasn't answered that first question, remember, somewhere in a source book are cannibal halflings. So just remember, those are things. The more you know, Lantern Noir presents Cares. Meanwhile, if you look her over, she, the predominant issue seems to be malnourishment, coupled with trying to possibly overeat on the back end of it. She's incredibly thin, and just sickly at this point, probably from the self-starvation.
Goes into his bag, pulls out some hardtack. Well, it isn't from the coffers that magically refill here, so maybe you can keep it down a little bit better.
She takes it and
Eat small bites at a time.
And as she reaches out, he will lay on hands her for 5 points to cure a disease or neutralize any poisons.
Okay. That is awesome. Go Linton. You also notice that her hair has been recently cut. The jagged, boyish cut she has almost looks like it was self-done with like a knife at some point. And she's pretty shook up. She'll take a few nibbles on the hardtack and kind of force them down. She has a canteen next to her that she takes a probably too large of a pull from.
Now,
Oh,
be
slow
careful
down,
about.
Slow down.
Yeah, you're gonna shock your body.
Thank you. Who are you?
Well, we're new in town, much to our chagrin.
Oh, get out now. Just go.
I'm Moira. This is Linton. What's your
Hi.
name?
Margaret?
Margaret. Nice to meet you. Hey, so maybe you can help us out, and maybe we can help you out.
No, there's no time for that. You need to leave.
Oh, there's always time for help.
No, just go now before you eat anything.
Oh,
Tell me you haven't eaten anything. Just go.
He hasn't eaten anything.
Then take him away.
I have eaten things.
I'm so
So-
sorry.
Well, that's okay. Because if you help us, we help you. We can get
And
through this
then
together, right?
Moira is dead to her.
I'm dead to her?
She just turns all of her attention goes straight to Linton.
Oh, that bad, huh?
Like, you need to go.
Well, you see, some of my friends are stuck here, so I'm kind of stuck here too.
Think of them as buried. Think of them as gone. Just go. Get yourself out of here.
Sorry, miss, but if they still draw breath, I'm gonna be with them.
You are very noble and very foolish.
You know, it's kind of weird how those often coincide with one another.
My father used to say that. And then she starts sobbing.
Oh no, Moira.
I'm gonna fly. They're there.
They're there.
They're there. Gonna pat her on the back. Does it work?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, she eventually stops sobbing. And then
Okay.
she looks, but please, you just go. Get gone.
Nope. Because we're gonna get over this, but we need your help. What can you tell us about what started this? We know it didn't just start. There was something. What was it? I
Okay.
could do an insight or an intimidation. Oh, let's try an insight first.
Well, insight's just to see if she's telling you the truth.
Right. That doesn't work.
I'm pretty sure we all can agree she's probably telling the truth.
Right.
So I need a persuasion check.
That's the one I was looking for. Okay.
Not
Well,
you're at this rate, one of you will break 15 before the night's over.
I've noticed something about prof streams, and it's no one can make a successful persuasion check ever.
No, that's not true. No, that is true.
I don't know. Either everybody makes really successful checks here and crap out in battle, or vice versa. But there's never both.
This is true. This is true. The dice seem to hate everybody, as it were.
How do you put digital dice in dice jail?
Oh, you
That's
go
what
into
I
your
wanna
That is
know.
the
you go into
problem.
your character sheet and you pick different dice.
Okay.
I think you have to buy that, right?
I
That
I
you
have.
one
I
of
think
those?
I have 2 sets.
I think
so-
aren't all my sets unlocked for you guys as part of the campaign sharing?
I
have
don't
no
know
idea.
how we would know that.
I don't know how you would know it either. I'm not a player.
Anyway,
I don't use the digital
This-
dice. I use my little jam board here to quickly roll d20s.
I'm
Not
gonna
yet,
guess
my
with that
stream
roll
deck.
she doesn't tell us anything.
She starts to actually. She will relate that there was a lot of surprise in the house when there was more food than there was supposed to be, and they weren't prepared for it, and no one thought not to eat it. And it was only within the first few days that they realized that those who hadn't eaten were spared. And that led to her and several others attempting to starve themselves for their own protection. And that's part of how she got where she's basically been living on a starvation diet because she's holding out hope that if she goes long enough without eating the food, the zombies will leave her alone.
Okay, that hasn't happened yet.
That
They're
has
still
not
coming after you.
Yeah, because eventually she has to eat because
something.
because she'll die. Like she can tell if she doesn't eat, she won't survive, and there's just nothing else to eat.
I'm going to reach into my pack and grab some of my rations because I've already eaten the food. So, and give her some of my non-from here rations to tide her over a bit.
Okay.
Which will help you. It's not from here, so it'll let you go a little longer.
I don't think.
What happened before the food showed up? Something had to have happened.
And as you're asking that, another person will show up. You can't really tell if it's a boy or a girl. They're in boy clothes, but they have a bit more of a soft step. They're covered in dirt and sweat, and they're holding a spear. And they oh, there you are. The alderman would like to meet with you and your friends.
Us? Weren't you talking to our friends on the other side?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to do an insight to make sure that it doesn't seem risky. It's all risky. Never mind. I wouldn't.
What could go wrong with this die roll?
It's absolutely nothing.
Liar!
We'll try it. See if I can notice anything weird. It's a 9. That's
Perfectly honest.
positively not useful.
Perfectly honest.
All right. Now we're getting somewhere. All right.
And they start to lead you around the house back to where everyone else is. As you come around,
Margaret doesn't do anything. Does she do anything?
she'll tag along with you.
Oh, okay.
Pick herself up and kind of make her way along, slinging her quiver over her shoulder. You kind of figure she's alive. She can't be that bad of a shot.
Right. Where's she's good at hiding? Well, I figured if she came along with us, maybe he's on board. If she had stopped and looked from one to the other, maybe we'd have gotten the idea if something was off.
Yeah. You come around the front of the Alderman House, as you can see a gentleman in like a judge's robe coming out at the same time and crossing the short courtyard over to where Winnie and Sierra are.
Why?
And he kind of has you all together.
Beers.
I
luck?
understand you've been inquiring about our plight.
Yep.
Well, it's become some of our plight as well.
No one really wants to actually talk about it, which is great.
My name
Makes
is...
it a little harder to help you out of your plate.
I understand your frustration. Please forgive us. The community has been small. There's rarely an unrecognized face, and under the circumstances, any deviations from the norm are seen as potentially hazardous.
Okay, would those be the norms that are zombies attacking at regular basis and the food being possessed and killing you? Or would it be the norms of before that when strangers were scary? Trying to figure out which norms I'm going up against here.
Strangers have always been scary to any community.
But interesting. Always interesting.
Yes. The brightest...
That's kind of... Go ahead. That's a little judgmental. Just wanted to say that. It's just a little rude.
The brightest snakes are often the most poisonous.
But the brightest flowers often have the best scent.
Also,
And
often the most poisonous.
I don't think roses are very poisonous.
Well, I'm not
Unless
very
you eat them
bright,
poorly.
so...
Well, I would love to have this botany conversation. Perhaps time is of the essence. Some of our party have eaten some of the food here. We are refusing to leave without them. And that means solving this little mystery of what has happened in this town and why this food is giving off necromantic and conjuration magic. Now, you seem like a man who has his head on his shoulders correctly. I think that you know that if I'm able to detect magic on something, it doesn't mean that this is godly. We should be able to figure this out.
Oh, I quite concur. We've
Right.
for much time we've had meetings up at the old manor house, a gathering, if you will, of the town to take some time to reflect, make perhaps a small humble offering of what we have, and we've been graced with a bountiful harvest with it. At this beginning of our last growing season, we realized quite too late that there had been malevolent spirits resting and simply biding their time. When we vacated the space, having made our token offerings, that is when they had directly attacked some of our town, infecting them with evil. And
So wait, just player to DM. Is he saying that they planted their crops on like a burial ground for spirits? Is that what I'm getting? Is that what you're saying right now?
if that's what you're taking away, you're free to ask a clarifying question.
All right, I think Winnie's just gonna ask that. Is that what happened?
No. A token offering in the sense that we would set fire, for example, and throw into the brazier some freshly baked loaves of bread. Or perhaps place into the brazier a piglet as an offering.
So let me see if I got this straight. You went and made an offering at the manor house, which is, I'm just going to look around somewhere.
That way.
Right, that way. And it rewarded you with a bountiful harvest, which then started you having magical necrotic bread and getting attacked with zombies. I got that about right?
That seems to be the result of something we had no idea had this kind of power.
Did you always do offerings to get a good crop?
It was a tradition, yes. The fields that I'm sure you passed.
At the manor house.
Yes. And I'm sure you passed our fields on the way in, and you can see the sun is very difficult to work with here. We've been plagued by the ever twilight for generations, which necessitated an offering tradition.
It's never resulted in zombie hordes and necrotic bread before.
No.
What did you offer?
Does your small friend wish to offer a question?
That was what I was about to ask. What exactly did you offer?
Well, the Alderman Council has debated that quite a bit since the Troubles began. And we're not entirely sure if it's the current popular theory among the council is that it wasn't any particular item in the offer. And we did not sacrifice a child, if that's what you're thinking.
Why would you even make that a notion? Did you sacrifice a child?
No. Absolutely
Insight
not.
check.
Are you sure?
Wow, he assumes you're going to think the worst of him and heads it off. And what happens? Y'all think the worst of him. Man, you guys are
We're
harsh.
trying to get any.
So who's rolling the insight check?
Oh, I was going to. Yeah.
Okay, somebody
Sorry.
roll it.
I mean, if we're rolling, I would love to roll.
18!
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah.
He's not lying. They
I'm
did
not
not
gonna roll 'cause I'll
sacrifice.
do
They did not sacrifice a child.
Just checking.
Did they sacrifice just a human? Anyone?
That's no. You see, the working theory is that it's been growing with time. That it was just a matter of a threshold we would reach. That having been granted a bountiful harvest year after year, there would be a recompense at some time. It so happened that whatever spirit was helping with our crops took control, unfortunately, and appears to have permanently corrupted some of our town. And we believe from our small excursions back to the mansion that what little we found, that they are the source of the zombie attacks. Now, I'd like to say that we've been able to send some of our townfolk there to destroy the undead at their source. But, I mean, look about you. This is a farm community, a quiet hamlet. We're not trained as warriors. Even that short sword you carry, I recognize the mark on the grip that's forged here, and I doubt you'll find it an incredibly fine weapon.
I have
I
a
don't need it to be
question.
fine. I need it to be workable.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm caught up on this a little bit. Why is this a farmland if the sky always looks all messed up?
Well,
And the only way to get a good crop is a good sacrifice.
the mists have made it
Yeah.
difficult to travel far, and you can't eat dirt.
That's arguable, but
Who lives in the manor house?
No one. It's been abandoned for generations.
And just
Before the mist came? Sorry.
for clarification, is the manor house the ruins of the castle?
Yes.
Okay. Got
Yes, absolutely. Yes. It's been 200 years since any lord lived there. We've made do as needed. And perhaps it was 200 years of small sacrifices finally broke the seal between the dimensions, bringing in some, as you said, necrotic beast.
Perhaps there is a variable here. Was this the High Rectress's first overseeing of this ritual for this harvest?
Oh, this is a secular event.
Is she against this?
I wouldn't know. I don't speak with her.
Hmm.
But I can say that if your little troop were to head up to the manor and deal with this, I think it would be quite reasonable for us to assist you possibly in finding a way past the mists. Return yourselves outside the valley if you wish. And if you wish to remain with our community, I think there can be a sizable reward. Not in coin, but perhaps in property. A
I
chance,
don't know about that.
a chance for you, good sir, to perhaps open your own church.
Okay, let's get back to the whole like things are possessed and there's zombies and stuff. Else did you do?
In what sense? We've sent
Little,
parties
big.
to.
I think there was something else.
Well, I'm quite certain there wasn't. At least not that's highly relevant.
The unrelevant stuff. You never know. Sometimes it's the little things.
Indeed, as I have said, the working theory is it was every year another, an offering of bits of last year's crops slowly whittled away at the barrier between worlds. And it's, while I would love if you were able perhaps to drive the necromantic beasts out of the villagers it has infected, I'm quite confident, unfortunately, that's beyond any mortal magic.
You seem to be leaving out the conjuration aspect. It's conjuration and necromantic.
Well, I'm not overly versed in the schools of magic. Could you define conjuration?
Being able to summon.
So the confusion point is why there is magic designed to summon when food is summoned.
It does not normally happen that way, am I correct? Normal food does not normally summon itself.
As I have said, I think we all are in agreement that whatever
Yes.
entity crossed over from the nether realm has created this enchantment and unfortunately ensnared the vast majority of the souls within our city.
Can I do an insight check if he's telling me the truth of this little story and he doesn't know that? I think it's a person. Okay, I want to do an insight check because I think this is a person and I think he's bullshitting us on this entity thing.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Please don't roll like you. I changed the dice. Don't do this to me. Oh, 19 plus 3. Thank you, sparkly dice. 22. 22. What's he know? What's he know?
He is not lying.
So he believes it's a spirit or an entity.
He believes there is some entity that is summoning the zombies from the villagers. He believes that something happened during a ritual that has started the zombie process.
Does your spirit have a name?
We would have asked the spirit, but
Who did you make the offering to?
as such, there was no specific. I suppose we offered it to the earth. Again, this is a secular event. There is perhaps that's an error on our part to not ask a particular entity, but simply to offer it to the ground, the earth beneath.
You're just offering it to
nature.
Got it. Okay, I have a question. As I don't have great religion, but I am a druid of nature. Would I know of anything from being that, like maybe my history's awful, so is my religion, but would I know maybe
I didn't go to class or learn anything, but
Yeah.
But let me see
Would
what I
I-
remember.
just a straight wisdom check, basically. Would I know inherently of being a druid, of things being given to nature and maybe backfiring on people?
Oh, you don't even have to roll. Yeah, that happens all the time.
So it's this, what he's saying seems plausible.
Oh, totally plausible.
All right.
Now, to be fair, with the insight check you made, I want to confirm what he is not lying about.
Oh,
There is an entity that is summoning zombies that was created at a ritual.
different ritual.
No, at their offering
Oh, at that
ritual.
ritual.
Oh, yeah, at the offering ritual. That is straight up. That is the truth. Rob, as DM, knows the full story. Rob also has trained in law. Rob is very carefully choosing words on purpose. But Rob also kind of knows that giving it all away during a couple of persuasion checks and insight rolls isn't half the fun of D&D.
got it.
But I do
Okay.
want you to feel like you feel more prepared for whatever you're facing.
No, that's very clarifying. Thank you.
Also, if you go, screw this, we're doing something completely different because we don't trust this guy, we're not going there, that's your call. This is not a linear quest. His exclamation point hasn't turned into a question mark, and he's waiting for you to come back.
Right.
Or if it
Okay.
has, there are other question marks on other NPCs at the moment. And don't you dare ask which ones.
Oh, one. I don't know, Fred. I don't think he's going to tell us anything else.
Is the
Oh,
kid still around?
What was the ritual?
Can
Can you tell us?
Yeah, both the
what
kids
you
are still
did?
around. And the dad. They're not related.
Not like-
The ritual?
It was just the giving of the crops to fire, right?
Yes,
Didn't you
we-
just
Did
throw,
you say anything? I mean, I know it's secular, but there's still usually
there's
words said.
usually kind words offered up by the first alderman in reference to the previous year, and sometimes there's this. I think at this particular occasion, I spoke of the power of community, and faith and trust within the community. If I recall, I believe, as I said, we offered. I think we did offer a piglet, but I don't believe this is the first time we've offered a living creature. The thought was perhaps, and again, as you can tell, we need something to help our crops to feed everyone. There's not enough food in the community without something being grown. In any well set watch, you need all matter of gears and sprockets and springs. It's a matter of finding the one making sure they all work in harmony. Farmers grow, artisans produce. So we do what we need to do to help the community, to do our part. Forgive me, I feel like I slipped into my speech there.
Did I understand you correctly that you started to send people to the manor house to try and deal with it and it didn't work?
Yes, sadly. Lady Shaz thought she could lead a party there.
Lady Shaz. I'm guessing. Didn't work.
No, she did not return well, she has returned, but not alive.
Not in a helpful capacity. All right. And no zombies ever go to attack the church.
I have
Right?
not seen any.
None come out. All right.
I think it might be worthwhile to still speak to this high rectress.
Mm-hmm.
I think we try real quick and then
I mean, what's
maybe
the
she'll
harm?
have
We're
something
gonna
that'll
go to
help
this
us.
manor eventually. We might as well.
see if she has anything that'll help us.
Yeah. Did you need any assistance at the Alderman House before we leave? Do you feel sufficiently fortified for the night?
Yes. Oh, yes. We've always maintained the best guards at the Alderman House.
Okay.
Are there other people who are trying not to eat the food?
I don't believe so. Who's trying not to eat? They'd starve.
No, just wondering if anybody's, not done well with it.
I mean, I'm not
never
eating the
mind.
food. Myself and another party member, we're both not eating the food, so we were just curious.
Do me a quick favor, if you'd be so kind. I would love it if RJ and Molly would roll their characters' perceptions.
Oh, I have a +5 to perception.
Oh, good.
Okay.
You'll do well on this.
Don't jinx me. What's the B mean? It landed on B.
Oh,
That's a natural 20.
natural 20.
Oh!
Yeah, nice. I got a 17.
25.
Also nice.
20.
Nice. You are very perceptive. And you take a moment to think about how much food you've given away since you've arrived. Probably a good 2 pounds worth of rations by now. As you've
Oh,
made
no.
such a good point of sharing your food with others, limiting your meals to your own foods. And you both almost simultaneously reach back to pat that special stock of food and ask, I wonder how long this will last if I don't. Why is my haversack so heavy?
Winnie.
I mean, I've only been eating cookies out of my tin.
You mean the tin that's overflowing with cookies?
God bless it.
Are they less covered in lint?
They're like fresh out of the oven.
I'm throwing the tin. Just so a grandma temper tantrum. Just
Explodes into sewing
Buttons
supplies.
and cookies everywhere.
You know,
Yep.
Molly, first of all, before I do this, we're friends, right?
yes.
Yes. You know, any torture I do in a D&D game is for the betterment of the storyline, right?
Yes. Yes.
I need you to roll me a concentration check.
Oh, concentration?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. I don't even know. What do I?
Roll me a con save.
Okay. Oh my god, a nat 1. I went literally from a nat 20 to a nat 1. So it's a 3.
Is she
Am I dead?
is she tall?
Go keep talking, Pond. What do you think's happening?
Sorry.
Is she gonna be taller than me? I'm not gonna be the tallest member of the party anymore.
Not a granny anymore, is she?
As Winnie starts
Oh
to
my
have
God.
her full-on rage because she's been trying so hard to keep all of you safe. And she starts throwing things out of her haversack. All of you watch as she starts to grow, as her illusion starts to fade.
I knew it.
Which, to be fair, all of you knew. This is not news to any of you, but what are you going to do in, say, the next 6 seconds?
I don't
Right.
notice this.
Now we're ready.
Oh, you... No. You're full-on granny tantrum
Okay.
mode.
Okay.
I'm gonna fly up
Um,
to look her in the eyes. Fred. Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
Is anyone doing anything with the alderman standing there?
I'm gonna
Roll-
slap him across the face, just real quick. Preferably in his head in a different direction than Winnie.
Oh, I'm wearing a shirt with a fur ball on it. Aw.
How
Lynn
apropos.
just yells, "Everyone get rid of your slippers!"
What?
There's 2 types of people, and here they are.
You've clearly never been beaned by a chancla before.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, yes.
I'm going to roll a couple of quick perception checks. Okay. That'll work. I'm not going to make you roll your attack roll against the alderman. You just like, bam! And he goes down like a wet sack of flour. And he's just like, nourishing his jaw as he picks himself. What on earth?
Sorry, there was a fly just right there, and I just instinct. I don't like flies. They stress me out. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I'm like hovering over him, trying to like check if he's okay.
Yeah,
And I go, oh, here, let me dust you off as more dust just pours from me.
The boy and the dad are coming over trying to help pick him up, and they're completely oblivious to raging Furbolg.
Probably for the best.
And as they're trying to help him up, I'd like to like start like getting him up, but then like trip on myself and like knock everyone over.
No problem. Is Winnie going to go back into her illusion, or is she just owning it now? As she takes a deep breath, looks Moira in the eyes, and then realizes she's eye to eye with Moira, who's flying with effort.
You know what? No, I think I've had it. I want out of this world. I'm tired of all these people lying to us first. I failed all these persuasion checks. And I am done. Also, I thought I didn't have dinner. I didn't have any of those nice looking pies. I've been eating Lindt cookies for days. I am furious. I'm
gonna reach into my pocket and pull out a pie.
And is there meat in it, first of all? Is it like a fruit pie?
No, I think it's a fruit pie.
Just inhaling it, frustrated. Basically, a hulking cow is like throwing down a pie.
Okay, well, you should chew, because that, we don't need choking.
Pretty sure I have multiple
cow.
stomachs. It really doesn't matter.
You don't need Winnie
Okay.
to start to colic out here. That would
No.
definitely shake things up.
How about, just to throw out an idea here, how about we use that rage and we channel it into getting into the church? And then we use that to solve this problem so we can get out of here.
Sounds good.
By the way, I'm totally riding on your shoulder so I can be tall.
Yeah, of
And then
course.
sit on her shoulder.
I think Moira. I feel like we've known each other the
Yeah, we
longest.
have.
You've seen me full
Oh, yeah.
cow, cow. So
That's why I know to tell you to breathe. It'll help.
yeah. All right. I'm not having any of this anymore.
Linton
About
looks
time,
upset.
Fred. About time.
Lynn walks up to the alderman. "Where's your larder?"
Now there's one in the house. Do you need something?
Oh, Lynn, I got another pie. You want a pie?
Takes the pie, just gets a
Why is this
handful.
shoving pies into my pocket.
It's like that sad, like eating cake in the middle of the night, crying alone type deal. Just
the misery chocolate cake.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe she left me.
Yeah, that's that.
Can't do my job if the zombies ignore me, so here we go.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hand another pie to
That is the most
to Sierra. too.
Paladin thing that
She's
you could
unfair.
have said.
Sierra realizes that Winnie's doesn't even care, and so she's like, "Oh, okay." Just kind of stands up, leaves everyone else on the ground, doesn't care, and starts
The
eating
Alderman
pie as
kind
well.
of picks himself
Right.
up. Well, I hope you.
Pie and the church.
Cheers.
Let's go.
Wait, did Linton and Sierra know that I was a furball?
I think so.
Part of my backstory is I saw you turn into a furbolg once and thought you were a were creature. So
You didn't believe that she was one.
Okay, I knew
I
that
think
Moira knew, but
Yeah, I think we
I
kind
now
of
can't
started
remember
it
if I knew or
originally being very unsure if they knew.
I didn't expect you to crit fail on
yeah,
that.
I didn't either, really.
But it
really
makes for good
didn't.
storytelling, doesn't it?
Okay, well, it does.
Kind
yes.
of a go big or go home.
Literally.
Well, this is for anyone who didn't know. This is me now. So
we love you either way, Winnie.
thank you, dear. It's most appreciated.
So you set
Sarah
out
looks up.
for the church. Anything else while you're in the Alderman Gardens?
I'm gonna go get her tin.
Okay.
I'm gonna fly over and get her tin.
There's buttons and stuff too. Like it was an everything tin.
Oh, okay,
Ooh.
we need to talk about separating your buttons, sewing kit, and cookies. We need to talk. This is a problem. We're gonna
It's
have to deal with
conserving
this later.
space. Put everything in the same tin. It all
No.
works.
No. I'll get you another tin. It's fine.
Until
We'll-
you swallow a fistful of buttons.
Yeah, it's
Or a needle.
And
Uh.
oh god, yeah. Yeah.
One way to keep the paladin employed.
All right.
Foreign
Well,
body extractions. Much
Don't
fun.
touch me, I'm sterile.
Stupid side story. We had Keely had those little rubber toys called Shopkins, and there was one shaped like a carrot, and our cat ate it. And when you looked on the X-ray, it like plugged the opening at the bottom of his stomach. Like it just went right and lined up perfectly like a little cork. We got it out of him, but
Buddy.
oh, what a pain in the butt. I don't blame him. It looked like food. Can you blame him? And she turned out okay, even though for several years we just kept saying, put your toys away so you don't kill the cat.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, everyone will have seen if you're not going to hide it again, which is your call.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm done with these people. They're not helpful.
He's very helpful. He told you about the ritual. He told you what to go kill. He gave you everything you had to do.
Sort of.
I don't know what y'all are complaining about. This is a straightforward adventure. Go to
All right.
town, go kill the zombie lord. How hard can this be?
Okay, you see, the DM says that you know something else is happening.
Absolutely.
Are you
All right, let's go.
Are you suggesting that I would not create a storyline of just go kill the zombie lord?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do it anyways, but
I feel hurt.
You're too clever for that.
Yeah, kinda.
All right, I say we go to the church, lady. I'm already 7 feet tall. I can, if it's a 12-foot fence, I can literally toss one of you over.
well, pick me.
I would also like to be tossed.
I do. You're all getting tossed over the fence.
Well, now let's consider this a moment. There is a front fence. I don't do well with heights.
Okay, dear, it's all right. We'll figure a way out, but we'll figure it out.
Sierra and I can open the gate.
Yes.
Sierra contemplates just scooping Linton up and putting him on her shoulders. Does not do it, but heavily thinks about it.
How big is Sarah again?
She's 5'11".
He's not that little.
I mean, he's not my height.
He'd be 5'11" taller.
Can we switch? I'll ride on Sierra's shoulders, and Lynn, you can ride on Fred's. 'Cause
No.
that'd be good.
I can walk.
It's a lot
It's
of fun.
fine.
It's a lot of fun. It's a
This-
lot. Have you tried it? Okay, we'll walk. But
Thank
you're gonna try it at some point. I'm telling you, you're gonna enjoy it. You feel very tall. It's very liberating. You can touch the
It's a pretty
sky.
good, yeah, it's a pretty good vantage point. I am 7 feet 2 inches tall. It's a pretty good vantage point.
She's not wrong.
All right.
But okay, so you start to make your way out towards the church. Things are relatively quiet as you head out of town. You pass a few more houses that are, again, stick out from the other townhouses, and that their windows are fortified. There's several that you've passed that have like spikes on the door to create like something that is not, if zombies crash into it, they're not going anywhere kind of situations. And you start to kind of wonder how effective they've been over time. Obviously, of some level, because people are doing it. You also pass one house that's been similarly fortified, but the spiked door has been smashed inward, making you pause to consider maybe not as effective as you would have liked, or perhaps they would have liked. Dun, 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 dun.
Anybody else think we should just move a little quicker? Because
What time of day is it, by the way?
You're coming up on midday at this point. The town's not that big to be making your way along. Let's see. If I go to 200, is this going to be a functioning battle board? I think it is. I think... Nope. I didn't clip enough. Darn it. Sorry, guys. Let me get the map on here so we can talk about what's happening. That's what I needed. All right. So I'm going to get rid of that and do it again. I'll put the sketch pad out so everyone can see what it is I'm working on.
Also, I'm very sorry if anyone hears. It's thundering so loudly here right now. I keep trying to mute myself.
I can't hear it at all.
Okay,
The
cool.
closest I've gotten is noticing the flashing lights, which I just kind of figured was some kind of neighbor getting themselves in serious legal trouble.
Hope it's...
Because Mooter doesn't seem at all stressed. He's just looking out the window watching the rain come down, apparently.
No, he's not fazed by fireworks or thunder.
Got it. So Mooter is not a good measure of how bad your weather is at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Noted. Noted. All right. So each of these boxes is 5 feet. I didn't need to put 2 Fs there. That would be redundant again. And you approach the church. It's a small church, sits on a lot, several hundred feet, with a tall iron fence running around its border. Up on the hill past, off to its side, you can make out a small, well-tended graveyard. You can see where someone has maintained the grounds significantly. The trees create a natural barrier to too much of the vision, but the path, lined with cobblestones, gets you to that gate. The gate itself, from this distance, you can see is chained, multiple wraps of it. And the fence is 12 feet of wrought iron, each one capped with a spike. It's half decorative, half functional.
Can we see through the... You said it's wrought iron fencing around. Can we see if she's outside right now?
No, she's not. That you can see from where you are. As you approach along the road, let me get to the window I want. There it is. So here would be the party coming up the way. And give me a quick second. I want to make an adjustment to this so it's a little easier for us to use. I might have to switch to another board once you go inside the church. But I actually want the grid to be functional. And we can run around as we need. Yoink, 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 yoink. Okay. Now, let me do that. Okay. That'll work. So here's the party coming along here. So Winnie and Linton and Moira and Sierra. As you're coming up, you hear the sounds of a hoof stomping in the ground.
Is it my hoof?
Nope.
Oh, that's concerning.
And you look over through this tree line and you can see a woman on horseback riding crossways towards the road at a walk.
So she's riding on horseback.
Yeah, the horse is walking. It's not riding with purpose. It's not hopping along or galloping. It's literally at a walk pace.
But it's not somebody within the gate. It's outside the gate.
It's outside
I
the
got
gate.
that correct.
Yep.
Is
Is
it
anyone we recognize?
Yeah, or is it wearing like is she wearing like priestly robes or something?
No, she's wearing armor, actually. Not well made. It's not like knightly armor, but it definitely is functional.
You look undead?
Give me a perception check.
Aha. Oh, that's not. Yeah, it's a 9.
Okay.
Is
Ah,
it,
Actually,
looks fine.
I think all of you should probably roll me perception so I
Yeah,
can tell
I
you a
was
little more
gonna
about what
say.
you see.
Is she within 60 feet?
Is she within 60 feet? Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, barely?
If I scoot up off the road and then use my divine sense to detect fiends and undead? Celestial fiend undead within 60 feet.
a cantrip?
No, it's a paladin ability.
Oh, that's awesome.
Can I cast Pass Without a Trace? Well, do they notice us?
They're walking with purpose towards the road in front of you. So
I'd like to cast Pass Without a Trace.
they're going to intercept you here. Every red dot is an undead presence. A 22 perception, Sierra will immediately spot that the woman on horseback is not alone, but moving along with her towards the road are several figures, either in commoner's clothing or even in light armor.
Did she ping as undead?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Turn.
she's that
Lady
lady they were
Chaz.
talking about.
Lady Chaz,
Oh
I presume.
yeah.
Lady Shaz wields a great. Is she wielding a great sword?
Would you like to go ask her?
I'm saying, can we? It's a great
Like
sword.
to
I feel like we could
observe.
see it, right?
She doesn't have it drawn yet. But yeah,
But
you
it-
can
yeah,
you
you
can
do
see it
s-
strapped to her back.
Got it. I think it's
Right.
Lady Shaz.
Yeah.
So do we want to stealth out of this situation?
Well,
or
if
we
I
fight
recall
here?
correctly, as Sierra starts to pull up the arts, the magic of nature, and drops down Pass Without a Trace, you all get like massive bonuses to stealth.
Yeah, I still roll
We
a
could at least
disadvantage.
sneak if we
Oh no.
want to, but like, at least we'll have surprise.
True.
Probably.
It's you have a plus 10 bonus to stealth checks.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Plus 10? Amazing.
That's not bad. That's a perfectly average roll.
Yeah, with the plus 10, it's a 20.
Ooh, with the plus 10, it's
So-
34.
Are we doing? We're doing stealth, right?
Oh, that's right, because
Yeah.
that's not with a plus 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to roll. You have to end up with a net roll under 5.
Oh, I got a 7, so it's a 17.
Yeah, 17. So yeah, I don't think her perception is that good. I mean, maybe it is.
Trying to stealth around.
That would be really funny if it was. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's like a 30.
Because if we could get between her and the gate and make her run for the gate for the church, we could fight her or...
Let's see. Where is she on here? There she is. Perception is based on wisdom. No, intelligence. No, wisdom. Bing. Yeah, not bad, guys. There's one other thing to check. Okay, yeah, no problem. God, I hate that spell.
Amazing.
Although I will say, it is a second level spell slot, so it's not like it's a free ability you get to pop.
Well, it's a free ability, and I get it once per long rest because of my race. That's why I have it at all.
Amazing. That is amazing.
I mean, once per long rest, so.
Yeah. So it's basically a spell slot. I don't even have second level spells yet.
That's true. That's the advantage of a DM who barely knows which edition he's running, because I can't immediately go, you don't have that yet.
Meh.
It's only when I was leveling up I realized, I was like, why do I have this? And then so I had to look it up again.
That's right, because I am one with the earth.
Yes.
Yeah, so you are able to completely skim right past them and get up to that gate. What's your plan?
I apologize for nothing. Linton's gonna let the rest of the party get behind them, but he'll walk out into the middle of the path. Kind of just swinging his morning star and taking his shield off his back.
Oh.
Oh, so you're not going all the way to the church. You're saying.
Oh, is it because they're
fight?
undead?
They're undead.
We get to the church.
It's not worth it.
Maybe we stealth our way. Linton, maybe we stealth.
I can't just leave these people like this.
But they melt.
We're not
and
going
they
to.
just come back.
We're gonna solve it once and for all.
Oh, I wish it was tomorrow. I could use the ceremony spell so they can't get re-rezzed as undead.
Oh,
If I'd
I wonder
prep
if that
that.
would affect them. They literally absorb into the ground and come back. It's
think I
from
need a-
the mansion.
I think I need a body.
Mm.
Funeral rites. Touch one corpse, and for the next 7 days, the target can't become undead by any means short of a wish spell.
They'd be a corpse in this state, aren't they?
Yeah, they're already corpses.
Yeah, so they're a corpse. You just have to touch them. However, if we get to the church, and we're gonna have to fight, aren't we? All right, Lynn, I'm with you.
Oh, we're fighting?
I don't think it's a great idea.
Oh hell yeah. Sierra's pulling
If
out.
you're gonna do it.
Like, okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out. I've been looking for an hour now of something to turn into. I don't understand how wild shape works still.
You can turn into you're a shepherd. There's a list of what you can turn into. I think right now it's CR 1/4.
Yes. 1/4 and lower, but obviously. Want to do 1/4.
At 1/4, that a bear
Yeah.
would be a good target
think
for wild
a-
shape.
Yeah, that would work. I can also look too if you need the stats for it. That's easy for me to pull up.
Yeah, I'm not seeing I'm on the monsters list.
Let's see.
I'm not-
Wait, CR 1/4?
Yeah, I'm not seeing bear for 1/4.
No,
There's
bear's a lot bigger than that.
Yeah.
Let me get
There's
let me
a-
pop up my filters and I'll.
a panther, a cow.
Cows are scary.
The cow actually has a ton of. It has 15 hit points, which is the most I've seen out of these guys.
Okay, let me get rid of the bear note. So CR 1/4, right? Let's see. Oh, come on. Sort for me.
Ox.
Constrictor snake, giant owl, velociraptor, giant lizard, elk, panther, horse, walrus.
Wolf has 4 less HP, but they do have tactics, so you get advantage if you're standing next to your friends.
Yep.
Oh.
Boars are also cool because they're boars. and they're scary-ish.
Boars are
They
fierce.
get charge.
Yeah, the cow gets charged too.
I kind of want you to turn
Boar
into a
might be better than a cow.
velociraptor because I just.
The
How do you not? But that's an option.
But they only have 10 HP, so just
And their strength is awful. They do get multi-attack though.
yeah. Again, they're scary. Axe beak. You can fly.
Oh no, with druid wild shape, you can't fly until a certain level.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
can't fly or swim at my level yet.
Giant wolf spider.
That's a good one, actually.
That is terrifying.
Yeah. Okay, so you have to pick one quick.
Yep.
As they approach through the woods, I would also point out that you technically all have stealth if you're going to hide, which means you will be attacking with advantage if and when you decide to launch your attack. I would like to know whereabouts you all intend to set up shop to receive them. I'm going to update these with some designators for the individual beasties. You can just tell me if you want to, or mark. Either way is fine.
I guess Linton will be like, he stepped out this way.
Okay. So pretty much Linton's just going to hold that position right on the edge of the road.
Can at least hide.
So anyone want to retreat to the tree line? Or advance to the tree line?
I think so. I want to get close to them, but maybe hide behind a tree or something. I want to get to within 15 feet of them.
So rush this tree here and put your
Sure.
back against it.
Yep.
That works for me.
Hide underneath.
That works for me.
I'm not
we
gonna
have
be
A1,
around.
Z. Okay,
I
go ahead.
don't think it's a good idea between the chapel and these guys, because we
Yeah.
can always retreat.
Where's Sierra one ahead?
I think she's gonna keep some sort of distance, but be a little bit further up the road.
Okay, on the road or back behind the tree line?
Maybe like here. I'm saying that was a very small dot. I'm not
That's
sure if
perfect.
that was- Okay.
Where does Winnie want to be?
I think that I'm probably gonna be like kind of next. If I'm in a wild shape though, this is gonna be a learning experience for everyone involved. I guess I'm gonna wild shape into a wolf and get up kind of near Moira,
Okay.
but like trying to, because of the pack
Whoa.
tactics, I'm just gonna try to.
Okay. That works. A1, A2, Z, and Z. Let me get this one off the board before I push go, because I just don't want it in this encounter. Because that's not going to be very interesting. Okay. The zombie the woman on the horseback spots Linton as he's banging away at his shield and preparing to get the attention. Let me also do one more update. What is everyone's new hit point total? Now that you've leveled up, what's Linton's new hit points?
20.
20. Got it. And Moira?
Okay, I have 15, but it also says that I'm at 9 hit points. So did we not heal from the last time we battled?
No, I haven't excuse me. I haven't updated your maximum hit points.
Oh, I haven't? So I'm not at 15 anymore?
No, you should be at 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it just says 9/15. So I'm like, was I down before and we just didn't fix it?
Not since the long rest.
Oh, so we did take a long rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overnight thingies. What's Sierra's new hit point total?
Right.
18.
18. Good it. And Winnie, if I remember right, yours is based off your wild shape, right?
Yeah, so my actual character is 17, but my wolf shape has 11 hit points and a 13 AC.
Interesting.
Molly, a good way to remember for when I do wild shape, I put the wolf's HP in my temp.
Oh, good idea. That's actually super helpful. Thank you.
And I'm gonna put an actual tag on you on the board, just so that it's always kind of there in front of us. You're gonna have to refresh the battle board in order to get the updated stuff because it's been saying idle long enough that it stopped listening.
Okay.
And how was I supposed to know it would take you guys 2.5 hours to get into a combat?
And then what wild shape works is if I hit 0 HP, I just pop back into being winning, right?
Yeah, and any
Yes.
extra damage you just take.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you drop past 11, you'll pop out as Winnie with 6 HP.
Got it.
Unless you take a lot of damage, then you'll pop back as Winnie with less than 6 HP.
You mean 17?
The damage
HP.
carries over, doesn't it?
Oh.
I think
Oh.
so.
I understand what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Because you are still taking H. You're still tiring from the fight. Okay. Cool. Let's roll some initiative. Let's see how this little goes.
21.
This is not the encounter I quite planned for, but it's the encounter we're doing. I was expecting this really interesting, like, quick, let's look at all the fence before they get us. I wasn't quite expecting this paladin to go, no, I will hold the line.
You don't really run games with paladins very often, do you?
I do. That's why I'm
Huh.
like, this paladin. The other
That's
paladin,
always
like,
what happens.
yeah. Well, of course, that paladin also has to deal with the fact that every time he's ready to smite undead, someone tells him, but not this one.
Why?
Because there's a
So
reason.
mean.
He may or may not have left a vampire in charge of a town.
Fair enough.
She promised she wasn't going to suck anybody's blood while they were gone.
I was about to say
Yeah,
she's a
that's
very
nice.
nice lady. She's very nice.
Fine.
She didn't ask to be a vampire. And the alternative was letting gangs run the town. You know, it's a tough call. So what's Moira doing in this moment?
Okay, I wanted to see if I could do 2 things or if I can only do 1.
Okay.
Can I do a bardic inspiration and a spell? Or no?
Yes. Because Bardic Inspiration is not a spell. The biggest question is it a bonus action or not?
Yes,
no,
it is
I
a
think
bonus
it is.
action. Yes.
Yeah, I think they're bonus actions. To throw someone a Bardic Inspiration die. Who would you like to inspire?
I am going to inspire Lyndon.
Lyndon,
'Cause
you are inspired.
Yep. So you gain an
You get to die.
acreage. Yep, a 1d6 die for 10 minutes. And you can add it to any ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
It is.
And it can be added after seeing the roll.
It has been noted.
And
then your main
I would
action?
I want to cast Thunder Wave.
Ooh. So we're not planning to stay hidden.
Oh, she already said she saw Lyndon, didn't she?
Yeah. Doesn't mean she's seen you.
No, but I'm behind a tree.
Okay.
They're just gonna have a big bunch of stuff in them, right?
Okay.
I'm in
15
front of Lyndon, kind of. Maybe
cube.
she'll think it came from him.
2d8 thunder damage and is pushed. Successful save takes half. So a 15-foot cube. Let me look at the map. 15 is 3 squares.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to. Oh, do I need to move first?
You'd have to
I was-
run. You have to run up here, and then you could blast.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'll do that.
Okay, you can
That'll
totally
work.
do that.
Try and see if I can hit them all.
Moira runs across that opening gap, plants her feet, pulls arcanic energy together, and puts out a blast. We'll catch those guys.
And it's 12 damage.
12 damage. Let's see how they do with their saves.
They roll a con save of 13.
Con save at 13. Thank you for that. I appreciate knowing exactly what it is I have to go for. Okay. You said the damage was 12.
12.
Okay, so she stays on her mount. The mount takes the full damage. And which zombies are they? It's zombie 1.
Top zombie A and top zombie Z.
A1 and yeah, both ones, armored and
Yeah.
regular. All right, A1 is going to, that's the one that's just armored. I don't, oh, not bad. Lucky him. He shakes it off, and regular zombie 1. How does he do? Con save. Also shakes it off. Tough zombies tonight. However,
Not good.
the horse has been blasted back, and it actually takes a tumble. And you watch as one of its legs bends the wrong way when it hits. Okay. Shaz drops to the ground as the horse is literally blown out from under her. And slowly picks herself up and is almost moving with this, like, if it weren't for the fact that half her face was missing when she looked at you, you wouldn't believe she was a zombie. And just pulls out her great sword as she starts to survey what's going on. I need Moira to roll me a quick stealth check.
Great.
There's still a break in line of sight. And we'll see how our zombie warrior does.
I still have a 10, right?
You have the plus
Or-
10.
So
You're still hidden.
18. So cool.
They have not figured out where that blast came from yet, and they do not have direct line of sight. So I'll make a note that you have managed to keep yourself hidden for now. What's Sierra doing?
Sierra has her longbow out, and I can do my bonus action first, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. I'd like to cast Hunter's Mark
On.
on. I think I will do the armored zombie number 1.
Okay.
And yeah, try and hit it.
Totally doable.
23.
23 is absolutely going to hit a zombie.
Wonderful. Well, at least I get another one. Is it a D6? 1d6, I think.
You are attacking. Yeah, it's a D6 for the mark.
Right.
And you are attacking with advantage because you're currently hidden.
Oh yeah. So
No.
I'll just
Yeah, roll it again, see if you crit.
Yeah. Instead of getting,
Because you never know.
No.
No. So we'll take that 23. So 3 plus your D6 from the mark.
right, and I'll grab that D6 right now. 4.
4. So that's 7.
Yeah. That's something.
And roll me a stealth check.
Stealth.
Does Sierra stay hidden? Oh, and I should do this
So,
for everybody that's hanging
22.
out. There, now you can actually see what's going on, folks. A 22 is probably going to keep you hidden. Yep,
Cool.
absolutely does keep you hidden for now. Let's see. What are they doing? Okay, so the one that just got shot no, that's 2. Has no clue what's going on. So they're going to use their move to come around this corner, and they're going to attack the first thing they see, which is going to be Winnie. So they're going to come around the corner and spot the wolf and go, oh, squish.
Oh, did I not stay hidden?
Oh, that's right. You are hidden. That's right. They're going to go straight at Linton. And I think Linton is out of move. Whamp, whamp. It's going to get to Linton. It's going to use the dash move because it has nothing else to do. Let's see. Who's up next? The rotting steed picks itself up. And it's going to move to its mistress's side. Zombie number 2 is going to continue to close with everybody. And armored zombie 1, which is right there, is going to come around that corner and go right past Moira, as it does. I think that then puts out Winnie's action. As she watches three zombies walking past her.
Yeah. Is A2 within
Like A2,
5 feet?
A2 is
of-
within touch.
Are they within 5 feet of Linton as well?
The 8 feet of Linton
Okay.
from where I dropped them. Is there a particular
Okay.
reason they need to be within 5 feet of Linton?
If I am within, if the creature I'm attacking is within 5 feet of an ally, I get advantage on the roll because
Nah.
of pack tactics.
They're not that close, but you're attacking from stealth.
Oh, that's true. So I would get advantage anyway.
You get advantage
okay.
anyways.
I would like to bite them.
Surprise
is,
number 2 or 1. You got
who's
you
who's
got
taking
choices.
damage? Yeah, who's number 2 is bloodied. That's worse than hurt, right?
Yes.
Then I will attack armored zombie 2 with
That'll
a
work.
bite.
Roll the attack.
I am not really sure how to roll this. It says a melee weapon attack +4 to hit. So do I just do
It's
an
a-
unarmored or?
It'd be a D20 and then +4.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Which I think, do you have a +4 already on something?
No, I
No,
have
you
a
don't.
+2 or a +5, so
All right.
I'll just do a D20. It's all right.
Okay. We can keep track. We're smart people. There's how many
Yeah.
years of post-high school education at this table?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
19 plus
Jeez.
4.
23.
So you did not
23.
miss.
Awesome. Okay.
You did
so
not
what
miss. And then I think, what's the bite on that thing?
Hit is 2d4 plus. Wait. Yeah, 2d4 plus 2. Okay,
All right.
so 2d4 plus 2.
2d4
Got it.
plus 2. So roll
Got it.
2d4 and we'll add 2 to it.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. This is all very new.
That's okay. That's okay. And for anyone thinking, oh, these computers take too long, trust me, at the table, it takes just as long to find the right dice to throw down the tower. More
So
so
4
when you're not.
plus 2, 6.
6. 6 to armored zombie 2
Mm-hmm.
is no longer marked because he's dead.
Ooh. And just woof.
The wolf just pounces out of the shadows and tears it twain. The good news, there's one less zombie. The bad news is there is definitely a line of sight to said zombies. There's no stealth involved now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just so we're on the same page. So that then takes us to Lady Shaz, who is going to try to figure out what happened, sees the wolf, and that's where she's headed. It's something that she can kill, so she's going to. As she comes out from under the trees and brings that great sword down with purpose. And is going to connect for 5.
Okay.
It's the blade comes down and just like the wolf doesn't even see it coming at first. There's no sound, no guttural scream, just the swish of the blade through the air. How does Linton respond to watching the wolf get smacked?
You all watch as Linton raises his walk and then traces the symbol of Cirillali on it, which is a door, as he casts, oh gosh, Shield of Faith on himself. So he's increasing his AC by 2, so he now has 20. And then he's gonna park himself right next to the wolf, look at Lady Shaz, and swing his Morning Star.
Okay.
The
The board is filling up with notes. You guys don't make combat simple.
That's a 6, so that's not gonna hit.
That's not going to hit.
But he is right next to Winnie.
So that makes some sense. We're kind of creating a battle line, I suppose.
I'd say like right. Ooh, that's not the right button.
Yeah, I got an idea where y'all are at. So Wolf and Linton. Oh, Eric wants you to re-roll it.
Oh, thank you.
You got it in time. We haven't started anything new.
Natural 20. I'm throwing a smite on it.
Oh, man.
So I deal a D8 plus another D8 because she's undead.
Yep.
So that's an additional 4D8.
Yep.
He does 5 points of piercing damage and
And then you said you're throwing a smite on it?
yep. 11 points of radiant.
An 11. Oh, wow. You know, she looked a lot more impressive on paper the first time I wrote her up.
Thank you for that reroll.
Absolutely wrecked this lady. Wrecked her.
No chance.
Yeah. That's just the end of that. Well, that's a pretty impressive first combat round.
Job's done.
As he drinks.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to snarf whiskey. That's not going to be a pleasant experience. Although it would clear my sinuses for tomorrow. No worry
Remember,
about my...
you have that bardic inspiration if you need it too,
Oh, God.
which you totally didn't need on that one.
Yeah, it was inspired by something. Number one is... it's going to have to go after the biggest target it can see. And that's going to be Linton. Because it has nothing else to go after that it can spot. And you are definitely the biggest threat at the moment. So in particular, it's going to do what it can, which probably isn't much with that AC of 20. And it's not, as it just batters itself against your shield and magical encasements. What's Moira doing?
You know, there's a small part of me that wants to leap on the horse and then attack. I think that's what the H is. But I'm going to sneak in behind and... I'm going to cast... Yeah, I'm going to sneak in behind and use my two light weapons.
On who?
I think we'll do Z. One there
First
on the
zombie?
tree. I'm going to sneak underneath the tree and attack from behind.
Okay, well, that just means he's under the tree. But yeah, you can run up behind him and stickety.
Yeah, a whack-a-whack.
Okay, you run out from your hiding place. Stickety.
I hit with the short sword first.
Short sword first.
Oh, so close. That was 7. So
That's not going to
more.
get through its defenses. It spins, and as you approach, it starts to bat you away with its arms.
That's only an 11 for the dagger, so I don't think I hit with that either.
That does hit.
Oh, that does hit.
Zombies are not hard to hit on principle.
5.
Zombies are actually relatively easy. Now, the armored ones are a little harder because they've got armor plating on them. So, but you definitely get in there.
Okay.
All right. There you go. The bard charges out and starts playing stick-a-mole with the zombie. What does our ranger do?
So she's going to move her hunter's mark
Okay.
to I'll say sorry, Moira just attacked the regular zombie, not the armored one.
Yeah, zombie number 1.
Okay.
Yep.
That one then.
That one. Okay, it is so marked.
And she's gonna try and hit it with her longbow.
All right, let it go.
12. Sweet. And 6 plus the hunter's mark. Hey, use it. There we go. So 10 damage total.
And that takes care of that one. Here's the bad news. I'm recalibrating all the combat encounters for next week.
Uh-oh, John.
And you will thank me for it.
I am definitely spending at least one night researching all the crazy stuff I can turn into. That's happening before next week.
My advice is to go into D&D Beyond. If you get access to everything in the database, you can't look at the stat blocks, but you can look at the basics. I just set the filter to CR 1/4 to 1/2 and then beast, and then look down the list.
Okay.
It was really easy to pull up the potentials. The rotting steed is going to turn its attention as well to Moira because it can find you. Oh, that's a good point, Eric. Can you hang on? You whisper it to me if I don't get the button set soon enough. It's going to go charging up onto Moira and do what it can to trample her. Owie. And an owie. Oh, dear.
That doesn't sound good.
Well, okay, here's the good news.
The tree doesn't deflect at all?
You're what doesn't deflect it?
Tree?
No.
The tree doesn't get in its way?
Nope. You're not dead, but you did take 13 damage.
Hey,
As it charges over and just starts to it rears up and its heads are it's caught in the lower limbs. It doesn't care because it knows instinctively where you are. As it starts to box and trample your bard.
I was going to try and ride it, and I didn't.
And then
should have stabbed it in the
like
neck.
all horses, you didn't try to ride it, so it tried to kill you. The other zombie that's on the board is going to turn its attention to Winnie. Sure, why not? And it's not going to be able to fight. The Winnie as wolf dances left and right and snaps at it as it fails to do anything of interest.
Instead of dances with wolves, it's dances with Winnie. It's a bad one. It's a bad one.
Yeah, somewhere Kevin Costner just got this weird headache.
Mm-hmm.
And then the armored zombie was going to use its short sword to take a swing at Linton to no effect. What is Winnie doing?
Okay. I want to attack one that's within 5 feet of an ally. Is that A1 and Z1?
Yeah. Yeah, they're kind of surrounding you, so you got free reign to do what you got to do.
Okay. Oh, wait. Is Z1 dead, or is that Z2?
If they're on the board, they're not dead.
Okay. I guess I'll attack the A1 with advantage.
Okay. Seems like a good move.
So I just rolled 2 D20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why do they always go to the corner where I can't see? So 12 plus 4. So
Go. Yep.
Okay.
16 against which one?
The armored one.
That'll hit. Give me damage.
Okay. Okay.
You can also right-click on the thing on the D&D Beyond page and pick advantage.
Even on custom dice rolls?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't
That's
know.
awesome.
I've never tried it there, but Pon's nodding.
You can, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. I'll do that next time.
They tried it, yeah. There's all kinds of fun features. All fun features. Ooh.
They're rolling. Oh, that's terrible.
About 5. That's a little weak, but hey, it's gonna do what it can. What's Linton gonna do? As the wolf snaps this zombie in front of you.
Single-minded determination. He's taking down the big lady.
She's already gone.
Oh, she's gone?
Yeah, you
Oh, I
killed
thought
her
she was-
already.
She was still on the board with the C. Okay.
Oh, that board. Hang on.
Am I on the wrong board?
No, I just haven't been updating the. I haven't been updating the jam board. I've been updating the battle board. That one's gone, and zombie 1 is gone. There you go.
Cool.
Sorry, yeah, you smote her.
Yep. I don't have spell slots. Take a swing at this zombie.
The armored one or the not armored one?
The armored one.
Okay.
Come on, Lynn.
That's a good move.
It's going to be a 20, not natural.
Jeez, a dirty 20. So you can forego rolling damage.
Oh, okay.
It is impossible for you to not finish it off.
He is going to boot scoot boogie next to Moira.
Okay.
Oh, ow, ow, ow.
As she's being trampled by a horse.
They're around there.
Okay. Shoomp. And then when you get there, you're going to say hi.
Yep.
Or so, okay. Wasn't sure if you had other things planned with a bonus action or something.
I think my lay on hands is an action.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. That's my turn.
That's good. That turned out pretty well. What's Moira doing besides being trampled?
Hitting it with dissonant whisper and trying to get out from under it.
All right, that makes sense. Let's see here. That is a modify one. Let's make a wisdom save. On the failed save, it takes 3d6. It has to go away from you.
Yeah, it's got to do wisdom 13.
Wisdom 13. If it makes it save, does it take half?
Takes half as much damage and doesn't have to move away.
Good morning, Ear. Welcome aboard. Go ahead and roll the damage. I'll see if it makes its wisdom save. It is an undead horse. They're not exactly sharp.
8.
It does not make its wisdom save. It turns and but it definitely is freaked. A horse heard a random noise it doesn't recognize. Let's just guess what the horse does.
Yeah, I would have been more trampled.
Yeah, it's going to turn and
Luckily,
run.
it has to go the other way.
Which means that Linton gets a free shot as it moves out of combat with him.
If it's forced movement, I don't get attack of opportunities on them, I believe.
Yeah, you're still taking it.
Okay. Let's have a go at it then.
House rule: if it moves out of combat, you take a swing. I don't care if it's forced or not.
22.
There you go. And honestly, truly, I've been doing that for like 6 months now, so
Okay.
table rule.
7 points of piercing.
And that's the end of the riding steed. Flip side, as so you all know, if you get forced to move out of combat with something, they're going to get attack opportunity. It'll suck. Sword swings both ways. Let's see here. Sierra's going to get a shot here. Take it.
Wonderful. I'm gonna move my hunter's mark.
Move your hunter's mark.
And for the hit there, 10.
It's a zombie. They're not hard to hit.
Yes. Right, and 4 plus the hunter's mark here.
It might still do something before it goes down.
8 total.
All right. It might still do something before it drops. It gets its action. It's going to attack the nearest thing to it, which is Winnie. How does he do? It flails. It flails. It literally flails. Winnie, you have a chance to rid this earth of this undead beast. How's it happening?
Do I still have an ally within 5 feet of me?
No.
Okay. so
Linton,
it's without
Linton charged
advantage.
off to protect Moira.
That's okay.
Which is still, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's a 5 plus.
Dude, the wolf and the zombie
4.
spar with each other. Nothing interesting comes of it
Hmm.
as they go back and forth. You get just the one attack, right?
I think so. I don't see anything about making a second attack.
So then it's up to Linton to finish this thing off. He wanted this fight.
He's gonna run around the other side of the tree and bop it in the head with his Morning Star.
Linton's getting his cardio in today.
I only have 25 feet of movement. 16 to hit
That's totally going to hit.
for 6 points of piercing damage.
He's still in the fight. He might actually get an action depending on what happens on these 2 turns. He could take one of you out, darn it. Maybe.
Could I move a little bit closer to the tree next to Winnie?
Absolutely. You want to be within the 5 feet.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, I get it as long as you're within 5 feet of the
Oh,
enemy.
one of my things needs to be with you within
Oh,
5 feet of
got
me.
it, got it.
As he comes, he's like he's brushing up against the trunk as he comes around.
Excuse me, pardon me.
Moira, what's going on?
I was trying to remember to turn my mute off. I'm trying to remember what Bane does.
Bane uses a spell slot.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
make
I don't remember
a
if I
save and then
have.
they have to do a D4.
D4 and subtract the number rolled.
The DM though is going to point out that it uses an actual spell slot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah, I mean, you
think
can
I'm out
do
of
it.
those.
You can totally use your resources right now for that, but I mean, you're down to
No, I
Oh.
think I'm gonna I don't even know where I am. Oh, I'm right there. I'm gonna hit whichever one there.
stabby
one
to
of
the
them.
last zombie.
Yep, stabby the last zombie.
Because that's the thing.
I'm sure I'll survive.
There's one zombie left. The question is just how many of your resources do you have to blow to get it to the,
right,
to the ground?
I forgot there was like one left. So
Yep.
Yep.
Bane is
Uh,
incredible for boss fights, though.
yeah.
It's really good.
So it's 15 to hit.
Yep. Give me damage.
Dagger,
God, you're
5.
kind of scary. And then your second shot.
Natural 20. So 25.
Jeez.
You know, like being stumped on by a horse. It's 11 damage.
Wow. Yeah, Moira picks herself up after the horse trampling, flies around the side of this tree, and you just watch. The camera's going to follow Moira, spin around drone style to the front of the zombie, and you just watch as 2 short blades come out of the center of the chest, separate, and then Moira flies through the opening. And then the holes and the bottom half of the zombie sort of like drops. Now, granted, most of the blood on her is her own.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I'm probably also gonna finish that and then just
Sort
land
of
across
crash
the
and
wolf
roll.
or something.
Yeah.
Try and land on the wolf's back where it's soft.
Yeah, I imagine that as a wolf, I still have my grandma shawl on. So you have a nice soft landing. It's very like
And the horse, you ruined it on.
it's very like Little Red Riding Hood, like like grandma glasses and the shawl and
Funny.
The little shower cap thingy.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, naturally,
Are we
Naturally.
out of initiative now?
we are.
Okay, I would actually like to pop out of wild shape and then heal
You're gonna fall on the
Moira.
ground.
I'd like to use healing word.
Okay.
I will not say no.
Yeah. You're at 2, right?
Damn.
Okay, yeah. 1d4 plus 3. Please don't. Okay, it's 1, so it's 4. It's 4. I'm sorry.
I got
4.
4 points. Hey, that's cool.
Hey, 4 is better. 4 more than doubles her current HP.
It does. It tripled
And
It's amazing.
It sets up like a perfect. You got to the church. You got a lot of exposition. You met more NPCs I didn't think I'd have to make. Whose names will probably be different next week because I don't think I wrote them down. Fortunately, I know Molly writes everything down, so I'm just going to pick her brain between now and then to
Oh god.
find out what name. Hey, if you didn't write down the name,
No pressure.
then you can't call me out if the name changed.
True. It's true.
And you're the one most likely to remember because you write everything down.
I did. I was too busy drawing the angry dad and the reluctant son this time to write down names. They look a lot like Charlie Brown, but that's all right.
So what was the lady in the church's name?
That one I actually
I wrote
have
down-
written in my notes.
I wrote down Margaret.
Leanna.
Leanna.
Marguerite is the emaciated poor girl that's mourning the loss of her parents.
Right.
And trying to avoid eating the food.
Which we just broke, so.
Which she'll get better eventually if she doesn't die. Which seems like kind of how D&D works. Everyone gets better eventually, unless they die. And in the final moments of this episode, you'll watch as the zombie bits lay there, and then there's almost like a palpable moment where in unison they meld back down into the earth.
The horse just ran off into the distance.
No, the horse turned, ran, and then got its hind quarters shattered, and it sort of skidded to the ground, and then it too just melds down into the earth, leaving you alone at the gates of the Chapel of St. Charlotte. That's like a great. We're at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
We ended on a successful combat, which, while I think that it was likely you were going to all survive it, you burned some resources.
Yep.
And that's part of my job, which is really good. The first thing, a couple of announcements I want to make on the back end of the stream. Thank you, everyone who's been coming by and you're hanging out. We appreciate having you here. If you haven't seen it, the Wednesday night game after this, so when this campaign is over, we're going to start another game with many of the similar faces you see here. It's going to be called The Convergence, taking place in a fantasy post-apocalyptic setting. And we're hoping to finance some more fun stuff for the stream via Kickstarter. So if you hop over to Kickstarter and check out the campaign, it should be a lot of fun. It's, as of tonight, it is at 83% funded. And so once we clear our first funding goal, we're going to start on all the stretch goals, which are where the really fun stuff happens with commissioned art for all the characters. I talked to somebody who's going to be doing special theme music for it. So we can have an opening titles with all kinds of music behind it, which will be a lot of fun. And there's a few other things that are on like my radar. They're on the Kickstarter page. So check that out. Also, as a heads up, if you've never been there, hop over to sweetsteam.com. They are one of our sponsors. They provide the chocolate packs that we gave away after my anniversary stream on Friday. And they have amazing chocolates and other goodies. My personal favorite still is chocolate, which is a dark chocolate disc with the shape of an elder god on it, so that you can devour an elder god before the elder god devours you. And then on a more serious note, from Clever Chocolate Puns, we will not be here next week. We are meeting to play because I think a week off would give all of us a little bit of stress because we want to know what's going on with the woman at the church. So we will be streaming on YouTube for that night in solidarity to the communities that have been being attacked on Twitch. We're taking part in the Twitch blackout for the day, so we will not be streaming here, but you can still hang out with us on YouTube, which serves two purposes. You get to hang out with us, have a great time playing D&D on the evening, and we get to remind Twitch that technically we don't need you. We like you, but we don't need you. So you have to do better or we're going to leave you. It's that awkward conversation that you often have over dinner with somebody at a certain point in the relationship when you really wish they'd stop doing that one thing that they need to stop doing. Although in Twitch's case, it's more than one thing. Stop it. I'm not done. If you can tell if I have copyrighted music in my stream and you can't tell someone has a swastika as their profile picture, it's not me, it's you. Okay, now I'm done. That wasn't too bad? Okay, cool.
I could listen to you go on about it.
I was about to say,
no,
it seemed like you were
keep
taking
coming.
it easy, so.
Keep coming. Yeah, no, and that's like there's so much to go on about, but I that's my, like, at the very least, folks, let's get on board. So we're going to be over on YouTube. Check the Twitters for the links, because I honestly don't know if there's a special link for the live stream, or if you just come by Latin Noir Presents, you can pick it up then. I think legit it's just Latin Noir Presents, and you can find us there. In the meantime, all the other things going on, let's do a round robin about what we are excited for in the coming week, stream or otherwise. And we'll go backwards to the order we started with. So Molly, what's going on this week that you are excited about?
So this Saturday I have my once a month Strahd game on, and we are on our way. We are on our way to, I don't know, craziness right now. So hopefully we're gonna survive. I don't know, but that's what I'm doing.
So you're out of Death
weekend.
House.
We're not in Death House. We're actually out of the town. I think we're headed towards a big bad guy, but I don't know that. So, who knows what'll happen. Probably
Cool.
shenanigans. That game is a lot of shenanigans right now, so. But
Sweet.
that's what I've got going on.
Pond, how about you? What's the exciting things, stream or otherwise, coming up in the week?
Well, my big exciting thing is, and I do have it right here, is I'm opening up some cards, which if anyone likes Fire Emblem, I have some Japanese booster box of Japanese Fire Emblem cards I'm going to be opening up. I'm very excited about that. It's Saturday.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
How
that
are
will
you
be
gonna
really fun.
wait? How are you gonna wait
I've
to
had
open them?
I've had this since Sunday and I'm just like sweating over it. But I'm making sure that certain people that really want to see this, like I can stream at the same time that they're available. So yeah, that's happening. It'll be really fun. I'm like, it has to be like away from where I sit at my desk so I don't look at it and just tear it open. But yeah, that's what I got going on.
I've had that problem with those stupid chocolates sitting within reach.
Oh yeah, it's dangerous.
Tiffany, what's coming up this week that you're excited about, stream or otherwise?
I've got some job interviews tomorrow. Finally getting some hits. So yay. Very exciting. Stay tuned. And my non-streaming D&D game plays tomorrow. So we'll see if we actually play. It has become half therapy, half gaming. So it just depends on what we need at the day. So we'll see what tomorrow is. That is kind of it. My kids are getting ready to go back to school. So it's exciting time. How do you cram the last bunch of summer out in the next couple of days? So that's our plan.
And hit the store for the creative masks, because it sounds like they're all going to be wearing them for a while.
That's actually part of tomorrow's plan. After interviews, it's bringing out the sewing machine, the material, and letting the kids pick the materials for their masks. We're going to make a bunch of masks tomorrow. So
Fun. I still think more
New
kids need
stuff.
to embrace the fun of that expression. And so,
nobody can see you yawn.
legit. Absolutely legit. My problem is I have too many students who have similar foreheads. I'm already getting them confused. I'm like, oh, Izzy. Oh, no, not Izzy. Oh, sorry. Well, you from here? RJ, what's going on this week that you're excited for, stream or otherwise?
This week on Thursday, tomorrow, over at G Game Nights, we're playing Good Society. It's gone off the rails. I have sold my arm to a demon. It is now jacked to all hell, and we're about to fight my werewolf brother. This is supposed to be a Jane Austen novel.
I mean, I remember that chapter. That's definitely in there.
Right before he
somewhere.
proposed, and then like they went
yeah.
to the big house.
Cool. I got that in the link. If you check the chat, there's the link, so you could go ahead and check that out if you want to give G Game Night a follow, so you can see RJ over there, because it sounds like RJ you're over there a lot. That between there and Indoor Adventurers, you've got kind of like your gang. And I'm very glad that you've added me to that list of people you game with, because I love having all of you at the table. It's a lot of fun for me. I went back to work today. This was my first time I was in the classroom with students in 18 months. And it was my first day of school in a classroom in 2 years, which was just a little bit weird. And my largest classes are at 36 kids, which is great, because there's nothing wrong with that. But I hope to be streaming Friday after work, because I want to keep up that time slot. Mrs. Noir is out of town for the weekend, so it's highly possible I will continue to stream over the course of the weekend, just because I have nothing else to do. So if you want to come by for some D&D prep, I probably will use some time on Saturday to catch up on all the prep work I did not do for other weeks, and do that on stream, because it's always fun to hang out with y'all, get your ideas as I'm talking through stuff. We had a great session the other day. We're talking about a whole new campaign involving pirates and dragons. Someone in chat said, I'm trying to work this out, and we quickly sketch out an entire campaign in one sitting. And yes, I have 2 classes of 36 students. So
How are you not passed out right now?
That is normal for my school. We in a traditional classroom, we average about 32 kids. So at the high school level. But I'm just going to say, vote for people that better fund education, and most importantly, vote for your school boards. I'm not doing, we've already had our political rant for the night. I'm just going to say school board elections are often overlooked. So vote for your school boards. They're the ones who make these decisions. If you can't stand the thought of a teacher having that many kids, become active in your community. Speaking of being active in your community, we should see who else in our community is out tonight making merry and having fun, because you should probably go hang out with them from here. There's one big advice I offer every new streamer: get in the habit of raiding, because it's a great way for you to meet new people. It's a great way for your family to meet people, your community, and grow, because that's part of the fun of all this. I'm looking down the list just to see who's on that I know that you are going to have a fun time hanging out with. Monster Hearts. That sounds like a really good campaign. We're going to go there. Let me pull her up. And we'll head over there. So we're going to go check out Stella Luna. She's running Monster Hearts tabletop RPG tonight. And she is an amazing content creator and a lot of fun. And I hope you guys have a good time hanging out there. If I can get to the link. Oh, there's a lot of people on tonight, actually. There it goes. So thank you for coming by tonight. Thank you for being part of the stream. Thank you, everyone, for playing. It's always great to have you. As always, I am debriefing, so please take my love to Stella Luna when you get there. I will eventually wander into her chat if I don't fall into bed, given the fact, again, I have to be up at the crack of dawn to deal with teenagers again tomorrow, and that'll be my usual refrain at the end of the stream. Thank you, everyone, for coming by. Thank you for all of your support. And until next time, remember, you still want advantage on that con save. Wear a mask, get the vaccine, keep your distance. We're all hanging out at Gen Con 2022. Let's get there. See you next time.